Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another Tech Alpha podcast, Thursday, October the 10th, 2019, and we've got one more day in the slightly less echo chamber because the games are soaking up some of it now.
Yep. It's actually not too bad in here. It's still there.
It's much better.
But
You can just hear it in this side of the room because there's nothing on these walls over here. It's been soaked up quite a bit. But yeah, we have everything. Oh, the camera needs to go.
Oh, camera needs to go up or over.
This way a little bit.
There you go. So you guys can see some John Cena there. Let me tweet out. Let me tweet out here. So yeah, guys, we just have one more cast in this room, assuming that everything goes well with the computer. I've literally had all my computer parts except for the RAM for about a week,
and we have all the stuff for the podcast room's computer except for the case.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got two parts in limbo holding us up, and so we can't. That made it worse. How the?
So yeah, we can't actually implement our new room yet until we get that stuff, because I need a computer in here that I can stream from, and the podcast room needs its own separate computer that Adam can boot up so that I can just host over and walk over.
Also a separate computer because it's literally 100 feet that way.
Yes, that is true.
And no amount of cabling is going to make that happen. Yeah, that's close enough. We're a little.
We got our new fancy chairs though. $70.
$70. That's because
no arms.
I got that employee discount at Staples.
Boom.
So shout outs to the guy who just randomly hooked up with the employee discount.
That's right. You told me about that.
That's right.
That's cool.
Because every other office chair that we were looking at, including the same chair but with arms, was sold out in every Staples in the province, because apparently there's one office building somewhere that ordered every single chair, and so they had them, but they couldn't sell them to me. So when I came back and I was like, bro, we're just gonna take the armless chairs. He was like, all right, fine. And he hooked me up with a little discount, which was like $4 on these chairs, but that's okay. I'll take the $4.
We'll take $4. It's $4 more than what we had.
Exactly, that's true.
So there's that.
So we got the chairs and stuff in, but yeah, we'll have that up. Everything else in the room though is up.
Yep.
So Dad and I did all of the panels, and then I hung all the panels here the other night.
Man. Oh my god, I'm turning into a fucking bum.
I only got mine cut here like a few days ago, and I have to trim my beard up now. I was waiting for our trip.
I just saw myself in the goddamn camera.
It's rough. Don't do it,
bro. It's fucking rough.
Don't do it.
God damn, I've been 14-hour days just about every day for the last 14, 15 days. It's been...
You just need to go upstairs with Kayla, get a number 2, and just go... just fuck your shit up. That's all you gotta do.
That's pretty much it.
This is what you gotta do.
Man, I'm hurting.
But yeah, everything else in the room is good, and the room sounds good. I ordered the 2 custom... pieces of speaker cloth to cover up the sound panels behind us. So instead of games, you're going to see 2 panels, eventually a TV, and the 2 panels were originally going to be the Lag TV logo and the Technical Alpha logo.
Yeah.
I couldn't make that work without it looking horrible because there's so many colors between the 2 of them, plus you're the wall color in there, that no matter how hard I tried,
it's a lot.
It looked ghetto. So it's just 2 technical.
I'm gonna miss the game look. The game look was
it adds a little something.
Yeah,
it adds a little something.
Hey, you never know. When I get more video games, maybe I'll have so many games that we'll want to put a stack there or something. Maybe not. There's not really much room.
There's not much room for it in that room, unfortunately.
But hey, you know what? This will live in the new setup. Is going to be dope, though.
It is going to be dope.
It's going to function a lot better.
Yeah. So I made them up so that they kind of both look like cartridges. Give or take.
Ooh, that's cool.
So like the logo's in the middle, but it's not a defined logo. It's all red plus just the cartridge in the middle, so it looks like just a big cartridge.
I like that.
So 2 of them, 1 on each side, and then we'll have the TV at some point in the future. But yeah, everything else in that room's good. I'm just so happy that all the panels worked. I was concerned we were going to put all that up,
fire.
and it was still going to be like,
No, it's dope.
It still sounds good now. So we're good. So, but this week we're back in here, and my God, this week has been
a lot of news, bro, and I'm...
What if we could have had this when we were both awake, like in previous weeks, it would have been a great time. But now we're both dead.
There's a lot of news.
There's one really big piece of news, and then the rest of it is, there's a lot of news and stuff that we should talk about, but there's obviously one that everyone wants us to talk about. I just put it in the beginning.
Let's just start off.
Just get it right out of the way.
I already know what it is.
By the way,
where's my
take that. Don't drink it out of the lid thing.
Okay.
Because the guy who handed it to us looked like he did meth, and his hands were completely fucked.
Great. So I'm gonna
just drink it right up.
I'm gonna take that.
Just take that right off.
I'm gonna take that right off there.
Right off of there.
As much as I like meth.
It's cheers.
Yeah.
No meth. So we'll start right off. He's a very nice young man, but his hands were fucked. So we'll start right off with it's the Blizzard thing. I'm going to call it the Activision Blizzard thing because Blizzard's
it's not Blizzard.
It's not just Blizzard.
Yeah.
This is a multi-level fuck.
Yes. I heard about this.
And there's a lot to unpack, bro. Dude, this is everywhere. There are politicians in the States talking about it. That's how far this has gone.
Oh, I didn't know it was gone that far.
No, it's everyone I was talking about. This is mainstream media now. This is everywhere. This is not just within
That's not good news.
No,
for Blizzard.
not for Blizzard stock.
That's a bad time for
not
Blizzard.
For the stock. That's
yikes.
for sure.
That's a big yikes for me, dog.
So, Hearthstone Grandmasters winner he's from Hong Kong, obviously. Blizchung, I think he's from Hong Kong. I think that was the assumption. I read it in the article. Said, and this was all in. I don't know if he's Cantonese or Mandarin or what they said it in, but the casters, everyone's speaking Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever, because it was a stream for their tournament at the time, I guess. Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age, is what he said. And he had the mask on and all that shit. And I was sitting there, I was like, yes! Yes! And then Blizzard said, no! 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 And so they responded.
Why'd they get so mad about it?
Okay, so, that's a lot to unpack. This is a doozy. So, but let me finish this up. So it was during the live post-match interview. So this was all being live streamed. And then Blizzard, and when he's saying it, the casters ducked behind the desk when he started talking about it. They were like, we got to get the fuck off this camera.
Yeah, we need to run.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of George Bush does not like black people moment.
Oh, my.
When
and then they changed the camera and it was like...
When they cut and he was like,
people in Africa are starving. Yeah. People in Africa are starving.
It's one of my favorite TV moments of all time, by the way.
Donate now.
My God, that was good. So they duck under the table or whatever. So Blizzard responds by removing him from Grandmasters, taking all of his prize money from Season 2, and banning him for a full year from tournaments and broadcasting.
Okay, so what exactly did he say again?
So he said, because you know what's going on in Hong Kong right now. I'm assuming you've seen enough news to know what's going on.
I mean, I know to a degree about all the protesting and things that's been going on.
Yeah. So, and you know that Hong Kong and China have not been on mucho bueno terms for a long time because China's fucked. So, with that whole situation, and it's all over social media. So this guy being from there was live streamed. He decided to say, liberate Hong Kong. So this is his actual the translated quote anyway is liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age. Is what he said.
Okay, I can. Okay, I get it. I get it fully now.
So they did all that, and then they fired the two casters.
Why would they fire the casters?
It's a great question. I haven't gotten that far yet, but they fired the two casters.
I could see them getting mad at the dude that said that shit. But firing the casters.
Yeah, so there's a little more I've got written here. So Blizzard, also fired the two casters who were there during the interview. This has become possibly the biggest gaming story of the year, and this will be the biggest gaming story of the year, bar none. And people have been closing their Blizzard accounts in no small number. I mean, people are actually not just unsubscribing from WoW, but like going through the process of sending in their identification to completely close out their Blizzard accounts.
Damn.
And in
waves,
relatively large numbers.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of their other casters are leaving, saying that they don't want to be part of this, so they're just quitting. It is a 5. It's not even 5. It's like a 6.5 alarm fire right now.
Damn, that's a lot of alarms.
It's a lot of alarms.
That's a big fire.
So that half alarm's just like,
This is a full-blown
blaze right now. And like I said, it's hit mainstream media outlets, and even some politicians are calling out Activision Blizzard on sucking the dick of China because it's a political easy thing for them to say.
I mean, not only that, imagine the amount of money Blizzard makes in China.
Well, see, this is where we're going with this.
You know what I mean?
I've got Slasher, who you know Slasher. Okay.
From Quake.
He broke this. And So here's what they cited specifically, and this is the only, to my knowledge, there are two things that Blizzard has said. One, Activision Blizzard group in China, and then the only thing that we've seen over this side really is this statement, unless this has changed since like yesterday. Upon further review, we have found the action has violated the 2019 Hearthstone Grandmasters official competition rules, section 6.10, and is individual behavior which does not represent Blizzard or Hearthstone esports. 6.10 is found below, and they list it here. Engaging in any act that, in Blizzard's sole discretion, brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0. In addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. Okay, so what the first reactions out of this from people were one, obviously lots of because there's so much support for Hong Kong, it was seen as like it was immediately seen by the general public as obviously bad, because it was backing China instead of backing Hong Kong in this situation. The next thing that when some people cooled down a little bit, it was a lot of people talking about how it's sensible that within those guidelines, let's say they suspend him for a time, but a lot of people are saying the punishment is
too much,
ultra severe for the situation, and that what it does is it lends itself to people believing, and I don't think this is isn't reality, that Activision Blizzard is going to extremes to protect their interests in the Chinese video game market, specifically mobile. So, so because of that, now everyone is just like, okay, well now it's fucked. Now it's over. Blizzard's done. For people here, in terms of people don't want to support it anymore. It's like that you have now chosen money over free speech in one of the most important and impactful and major like socio-political movements happening globally right now, and you chose China because money. And
over
people,
Hong Kong,
or
I guess
over
freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. In this guy from that place saying it was to be fair, it's not like he gave like a fucking dissertation here. He said about 7.5 words, left it at that, and that was the show. And
so, in his statement, what was his statement calling to action for? Is he calling to action for China and Hong Kong to get along, or is he calling for action for?
No, they want Hong Kong wants to be separated from China, and has been forever, because China
I understand that, but in terms, I couldn't fully understand his wording, because I didn't know if he was looking for peace or hey,
Hong Kong wants to peacefully be separated from China. The problem is that
it's like Quebec wants to be away from Canada. Essentially, they want their own. They want their own. It's I know it's a vastly different thing to a degree, but it's the same type of play. At face value,
we didn't forcefully take Quebec at any point in time. Quebec has been part of the country since the beginning, and then they wanted to leave later. Hong Kong was China coming over and saying, hey, you're us now, and there's nothing you can do about it, and then suppressing literally everything right down to the most famous being, I always pronounce it wrong, Tiananmen Square, where you can't even post pictures of that shit without facing horrendous repercussions.
I understand.
So I
understand it's an extreme. It's an extreme over there. For sure.
It's a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And China is objectively in the wrong across the board. Nobody is backing China but businesses.
Of course, because they make their money.
NBA in the same week ran into a similar problem where they chose to basically side with China. But it's a very interesting thing, because when players talk about politically within the North American spectrum, and they say something, it's not nearly as big of a problem. But now that we bring up China, And China as a market is so big.
All right.
The companies
So what's your thoughts on this? Because I can give you my hot take now that I really know. Because, I mean, I haven't dug... the news just fucking... I've seen the tweets. I've read the article. I've read Slasher's write-up and stuff. But in terms of, like, the stuff you're explaining to me, I'm just kind of getting some of that information now.
Yeah, originally, this is true. Drunkard's right. It was originally... All the protesting was about the extradition law. Within Hong Kong, basically all of it centers on, no matter how you look at it, it's China abusing horrendous power in human rights violations ways.
They've been doing this type of shit. The censorship, everything. It's
not new. It's just getting worse now because technology is making it way easier for them to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So,
so what's your hot take?
I don't think mine's a hot take. I think that the punishment is horrendously overboard, and that if he had said something about Trump, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Period.
Probably not.
And if we were, it would be a minor suspension. He wouldn't have lost all of his prize winnings, guaranteed. Because here's the other thing. Where's this? It's in here somewhere. Oh, did I not save it? Shit. There is a statement from Activision Blizzard from within China that talks about how upset they were that he said those things, and that they are looking to defend the Chinese nationality.
All right, here's my hot take.
I got more to this.
Okay.
Blizzard does similar shit when it came to the pride stuff. Flying all sorts of pride flags over here, writing stories about characters and stuff where they're whatever. And then as soon as you move over into the Eastern markets, we don't support that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that here.
We don't support that. Yeah. So it's Activision Blizzard is doing every virtue signaling possible in every way imaginable, only for money, to the point where employees went outside and they had that big statue out front of Blizzard, and on the ground is like the tenants of Blizzard, where one of them was along the lines of like everyone has a voice or whatever, and employees covered that up the next day. Here's the thing. Okay, so here's my. I guess this is maybe a hot take. Okay, I'll say it from a base level. The punishment, regardless of what he said, so if he did say something about Trump or he said something about any other government, suspension was necessary because of the rule book. But suspension, all the prize money, winnings, everything that came down, firing the casters, it shows us that it's more than just following the rule book. It's covering in and covering up for and pandering to China. So that's where my problem lies, because ultimately, when I tweeted about this, and somebody said, "Well, it's a business; they're going to do everything they can to make money. Businesses don't have morals and values," which, in my opinion, anyway, is complete and utter bullshit. Because at the end of the day, businesses are created by people; they are owned and operated by people. All of those people have values. All of those people have morals. And the further up the food chain in the company you go, the more impactful, the more influence your morals and values have on the outcomes of how that company operates within the world around them.
It's true.
Okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't have, not-for-profit organizations out there trying to do really good shit. You'd just have everyone out there looking to get fucking money, and that's the show. Okay. So, I think that we're at a point now where there is a line between keeping politics out of stuff and then recognizing when there is something so substantial at play that you have to be I guess what it comes down to for a business is two things. And this is really all it is. And it seems to be an easy choice for a lot of businesses. It's, are we going to suck China's dick? That's full flat stop, because from a personal level, if you talk to any individual within the company and then you went and talked about China and what they're doing and whatnot from a business standpoint and then said, would you want your company to support? No. The answer is going to be no. Unequivocally no from across the board. The company's going to do it anyway. So you get the choice of, does the company go in that direction, or does the company say, we're going to stand our ground here and either be completely outside of it and not choose any side, which, by the way, blocking somebody from saying that isn't necessarily choosing a side. That's why companies have people on social media say the opinions expressed by the employees of this company do not necessarily represent that of the company itself. There's a reason why. You don't have to go out of your way like this and literally nuke it from fucking orbit. That chooses a side for you when you do that. Or you say, you grow a set of balls and say, you know what? China's fucked up. There's a lot of money over there, but there has to be a line, because if the companies keep feeding into China like this, China is literally going to run the world in like the next 50 years, because in the short term, people just want the money and they don't want to care about anything else. And it doesn't seem like that right now. And people, it's like that. It's a slow build up, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Because
one day you wake up and go, what the fuck? China just runs this world. What the fuck?
Exactly.
And it's too late.
Because companies are now at the point where you can't even say things within North America that are against China across the fucking globe, because the companies that run the governments here are saying that we can't do that because that's going to fuck our interests in China, where a lot of our income comes from. You're going to see it in movies. You're already seeing it. Every time you watch a movie, there's at least one sponsor that comes out of China. Tencent has their hands in a bajillion fucking places as it stands. And now when the mobile market being as it is, in the gaming industry, you have everyone trying to break into the Chinese market in any way, shape, or form they can. PUBG going completely fucking like bloodless and shit. Just do anything they can possibly do to get into the Chinese market. So for me, it's the suspension was overkill, and it shows that they chose a side, and the side was China. Which is, in my opinion, it's not everyone's opinion, my opinion is that that's the wrong side of history to go with. And then the other thing is that what this shows to a bigger degree, because it's reflecting in other places this week and not just Activision Blizzard, is that we're at a point now where a lot of people are going to take more seriously what businesses that they want to deal with, depending on just how in the pocket they are of Chinese government and the Chinese market, because people aren't. It's weird. I'll say this. I know I'm ranting.
You're rambling.
I'm rambling.
Right now.
I know it's
you're
bad.
Going, bro.
It's bad, but that's where my head's at today. I'm foggy as fuck. Where people say, you know, well, why didn't we do something about this earlier? Why weren't we like boycotting shit earlier? When China was doing these things, or what about this other country over here or this country over there? And the answer is everyone has a different catalyst for what gets them involved in any kind of movement. And it's not always going to be the obvious one for you. It's not always going to be the one that's like it's super fucking in your face. Like, this is the point where we should have done something. It's always going to be something fucking weird, and it's usually going to be something these days where it's viral enough on social media. And unfortunately, as silly as it seems, a dude getting banned and having his prize money taken for a video game competition seems to be the thing that's kickstarting the discussion within our age group on social media. It's a fucking dumpster fire, and I will say this: fuck Activision, fuck Blizzard, hard. Not just for this, but everything. Blizzard's super. We already determined Blizzard's dead. Blizzard's fucking in the ground. You can't even res that shit. You can't even zombify Blizzard for me at this point. Blizzard is fucking done. I'm done with Blizzard. Not because they had dealings with China, but how they're going about their dealings with China. There's better ways, and this ain't it. That's my take. It's a ramble, but fuck me.
All right.
I'm tired today.
All right.
That's your turn to try and put yours into.
Well, I mean,
thought.
hey, I'm not gonna go as long. Here's my point of view, because when at the end of the day, we're talking politics here, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is
well, business and politics are the same thing.
It's all the same thing, bro. And we see this type of shit, this type of lobbying politically, whether it's in the White House or any other parliament, wherever. All this, bro. There are sides, and it's either there is no halfway. You're either over there, or you're on the other side.
Yeah.
And the ones in the middle are typically don't really have much of a voice. You know what I mean? It's pick a side, stay on it. Even if you don't fully agree with all the values, You know, the core values you might agree with, and then some of the other things you might not agree with, but you have to pretend like you do. You just kind of have to go along with it. You have to like turn a blind eye. You see that all the time. Here's my hot take. First, I'm going to start off with this dude that got suspended and stuff. Mm-hmm. He deserved it. Mm-hmm. He deserved it. He deserved to have his money taken. Mm-hmm. He deserved to get suspended for a year.
Okay.
He deserved to, whatever other punishment, they lose his Grandmasters because of one condition. Mm-hmm. He signed a contract. Mm-hmm. That contract stated that if you put Blizzard in any political position or you're making some sort of radical statement, whether radical to you or to somebody else, that it puts Blizzard in a tough position. Mm-hmm. It's very evident that he put Blizzard in a tough position.
Sure.
Whether it's Blizzard China, Blizzard NA, Blizzard EU, Blizzard whatever, Blizzard Activision as a whole.
Yep.
He did that.
Yep.
He didn't have I guess he has the right to do it in terms of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But there's going to be consequences for what you say
certainly
in front of a live audience when the spotlight is on you. Mm-hmm. Now, does it make him a bad person? No. Mm-hmm. Is his message one that comes from heart? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Is it a message that I'm sure he doesn't regret saying? Sure. Maybe in terms of look at the attention it's getting now. I mean, obviously he's looking for attention. Obviously he wanted to make a statement.
I don't think that this was what he thought was going to happen.
Well, I mean, why would you say it? You know, like
you say it because
there's other ways to do it. You could go on Twitter on your own personal account.
Yeah.
You can make a YouTube video. You can put on any social media.
Oh, he knows he's getting more views doing it, but I don't think he thought what's happening right now that politicians would be talking about.
Well, no, I don't think about that. But, you know, it's the world we live in, right? So he signed up for this. He didn't have to say this. So the way I look at it is this. He signed a contract. He broke the contract. And it clearly states in the contract what the penalty is for doing that.
I agree.
So...
Well, it states the range in which things can happen.
Bro, if they want to say fuck you for life, they have every right to do it.
No, I get that. I know, like they're leaving themselves intentionally
of course,
a lot of room to play.
These are legal documents.
Yes, I get that. But what I'm saying is they didn't have to choose the maximum, but by doing so,
they could have said you're gone for life.
Yeah.
Fuck a year. They could have said, bro, I never want to see you near Blizzard ever again.
Well, they basically did.
Well, it's a year, right? It's 1 year. He can come back. He can play the game, do whatever he wants. Great. But he could have literally said, bro, you are done. You're never going to be part of another tournament. If we see you have an account, we're going to ban it. You are dead to us. They didn't do that. They got rid of him for a year. They did this. They have the right to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he did a bad thing. Don't get my words twisted.
Oh, no, they have the right to do it. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, this is the exact same thing that Kaepernick did. Somebody just literally, as I'm saying it, gets on one knee.
Yeah, gets on one knee. Yeah.
Bends a knee.
Yep.
The guy's gone. Right? You know why? Because the NFL is like, bro, can't be doing that shit, bro. We're too American. You know, you know, get on your, stand up. You know, we know the history here and blah, blah. Now look at him, right? Now, now he's probably making more money than he's ever made in the NFL. He's a public figure for all the right reasons. Mm-hmm. He made a stand. Good on him. He knew the blowback that he was going to get. He was warned, and he kept doing it. Mm-hmm. So there's that, and they have every right to. Is it a right thing that what Blizzard did? Because at the end of the day, it's this. Yes, Activision Blizzard. We've already determined they've gone to shit. There's a reason why Michael Morhaime is gone, bro.
Yeah,
he is gone. He left. I don't care what anybody says. Even if Michael Morhaime himself came out and said, "I left because I had a long run and I'm ready to retire and spend some time with my family," I'd have a hard time believing that. Full part of it, yes, absolutely. You've made your billions. Go and enjoy your life. But I think a lot of it has to do with the direction that Blizzard is going, the lack of control he probably then had, and he could just see the downfall happening. And look at this. Literally, I think like a month or two after this guy signed his papers, get the fuck out, shitstorm started happening. So ultimately, my point of view is this. This is where Blizzard really fucked up. Firing those two casters. Those guys didn't do anything. They didn't do nothing. They were casting from what I'm seeing, right? They didn't join the march. They hid underneath the table. They're like, bro, I don't want my hands near any of this shit.
Yeah.
This is bad news.
Yeah.
I want to stay away from it because I value my job. I know the rules. I'm not about to comment on any of this. I'm done. Blizzard screwed up there. Now, the reason why I think Blizzard fired them is because they want to remove anything and everything from that situation on camera. Anybody that was part of it publicly, they want to remove because
they're disabling comments. They're doing anything they can possibly.
It sends a message that, dude, we don't agree with anything that went on here. So those guys kicked the can, and if I was them, I'd be lawyering up and suing them. I would be, there'd be a lawsuit, and I would sue the shit out of them. Not only for making them look like the bad guys, because why else would you be, now publicly, especially how big this is, I'd sue the living shit out of them for that because they didn't do anything wrong. This other dude, on the other hand, absolutely, you got it. Now, when it comes to picking sides and Blizzard putting their foot down and showing their true colors, which, bro, they've been showing their goddamn true colors for much longer than just what happened over here in the last few days.
Yeah, but this is like a different ball game. For me personally, it's a different ball game than them showing their true colors with loot boxes and all this other shit.
I understand.
This is a different
but
ball
the fact that they're going mobile, they're making all these mobile games. They know China. We see where this is going, bro. Yeah. Blizzard NA is dead anyway. I mean, this shit, dude. Blizzard Activision is a China play, bro. They're making the vast majority of their money in China. They're gonna make the vast majority of their money in China from here on out. They know that is a business. It's a bagillion dollar business in a company. They have shareholders. They have powerful people. They probably even have politicians, for Christ's sake, literal politicians in different places making power moves. And this is the world we live in. Blizzard Activision, although I don't agree with what they did to those two dudes, and you know what? At a moral standpoint, I don't agree what they're doing either. But I also don't blame them for what they're doing. Simply because at the end of the day, business is business. And they're not going to allow some young kid that just won a fucking tournament to go out there and sabotage their multi-billion-dollar business and a potential partner that could ultimately cost trillions of dollars in the long run over what? Some political play where you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to cave in to this, even though this is a horrible thing and it's public. I'm going to cave into this. That's not how these motherfuckers work. They have an agenda, and if there's a speed bump or a block in the road, they're going to tear right through it, and they're going to do it by any means necessary. And believe you me, this is hot news and shit right now. Ask me if this is truly going to affect Blizzard in the wrong one. The answer is no. I don't care how many people are going over to Blizzard and uninstalling their account and making a stand and doing whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm calling it right now. Blizzard is only going to grow. Their profits are only going to blossom, and they're only going to continue to keep doing what they're doing. And this stand right here, no matter how cool it is, and we're in the movement now of hopping on trains and being part of this shit, and this is a great thing to get behind. It really is. But at the end of the day, this is business. I mean, fuck them. Yeah, they're assholes. I knew that anyway. So, at the end of the day, I guess it's a personal thing. If you want to get behind this movement and you really want to stick it to Blizzard, then by all means, uninstall. Don't buy their games. Do the retweets. Have your voice be heard. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling everybody, it doesn't matter who's involved. These guys are not going to change a thing. And, it's business, bro. That's just the best way I can put it. I feel bad for the casters. They should definitely do something about this because they are literal casualties of what this kid did in front of a big group of people. So feel bad for them. As for this guy, I don't feel bad for him. He deserved what he got. But at the end of the day, he's getting exactly what he asked for. He's getting the attention. This could turn out to be a big thing for him. And at the very least, his prize pool money, the fact he can't play for a year, if that's the cost of something he's so passionate about and he wants this message to get out, then by all means, mission accomplished. He's been successful in this. Good on him.
He's been more successful than anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. Good on him. Yeah. His message is out there. People are going to look at this guy like a hero. There are people that'll look at him like a villain. But the vast majority will look at him like a person who's standing up for his people, standing up for a great cause, standing up for what he believes in, and he has a platform that he's earned the position to be in, and he took it. And yeah, sure, it wasn't the smartest thing to say in terms of contract-wise, but at the end of the day, go for it. You have your platform, do what you want with it, but be prepared for the repercussions of it, and that's what he's facing now. I don't think this kid's going to have a hard time finding more work or playing another game or getting a following or anything like that.
No.
You know, I'm not feeling bad for that, but I'm looking at it as a business perspective and how deep Blizzard is in with China, how deep everybody is in with China. We're not even talking just Blizzard Activision.
No, that's what I was talking about before.
Everything.
This is what I was talking about before.
But this is a different. Yeah, but this
where
is
people are saying no. But what I mean, just right now, where people are saying, "Oh, this is your line."
Yeah.
Is that it hits
of course,
everyone has
you know how
different
China is. You
right?
know how China is.
Yeah.
You go public about them. You make them look bad in a public light when they don't have control on anything. They made a call, bro. There was a call that happened from Blizzard from Activision China, and they said, "End it." That was that. And the people said, "Oh my fuck, kill it all.
Yeah.
Kill it all." There's no beating around the bush. Kill it all and make it. They basically got to make good to China. They got to go, bro, we are behind you. There is no halfway. There isn't like, oh yeah, minimal things, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's fired. Get them the fuck out. If these two casters sue us, we'll pay the fucking fine behind the scenes. No one will know about it.
So
and China will look okay in China's eyes because that's ultimately what they need to do.
So following closely after that, I mean, within like 24 hours or some shit, the Collegiate Hearthstone League Championship happened, and the American University held up a free Hong Kong boycott Blizzard sign on camera during the broadcast, which was quickly cut away from. I haven't heard anything else come out of that. I don't know if the chat has heard anything else come out of that, but I haven't heard of any suspensions or any action being taken on the American college team to this point.
Dude, this is just going to go on as normal business, bro. There'll be another event. No one will talk about it. I mean, people will. Blizzard.
Well, you know why? You know why nobody? Why if nothing's happening, you know why? Because it wasn't a dude from Hong Kong saying it on their broadcast.
100%.
It was on another broadcast within North America. With a bunch of white dudes doing it. So it didn't matter. Which just further cements everything.
I know.
So it's just.
I know. I get what you're saying,
so
bro.
Furthering that, Tim Sweeney, the head of Epic, Tencent owns 40% of this company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Came out and said, because people were questioning, they were like, I wonder what this means for Epic, because Epic is, 5% for Blizzard for Tencent, 40% for Epic. What would have happened if a Fortnite player from China or Hong Kong said these things?
Same thing.
On the camera. What would happen?
It was what ended.
Then Tim Sweeney came out and said that Epic supports, specifically in response to this exact situation, Epic supports the rights of Fortnite players and creators to speak about politics and human rights. This was brought into question, like I was saying, because of the response from those about Tencent owning 40% of Epic. So Tim Sweeney is saying that if it happened on their side, this wouldn't have happened.
I'm telling you definitively, that's bullshit.
Well, it's going to happen.
Well, and
because it's going to happen.
Somebody's just going to do it now. Someone's just going to do it now to do it.
So then we get to see if it really won't blow back.
I'm telling you right now, bro. It'll be the same type of shit. That's what's gonna boil it down. If Tencent owns 40%, the answer is a nope. It's a nope. And you know what? Epic, as much as Epic are fucking sneaks as well, bro.
Oh, of course.
Of
course. I was just very intrigued that the CEO himself would say that, because in the not too distant future, that's going to be tested.
Of course.
Somebody's going to test.
Of course.
At least one person's going to test that line.
And they're going to be
And
gone.
then we're going to find out just how valid that tweet is going to be, and that's going to come back on Tim Sweeney's lap. Where people go, hey, remember literally less than a month ago when you said this shit? He's going to go, oh, sorry.
100%, bro.
Or actually, it's going to sound more like...
Yeah. You know why he's saying it now? Because he wants Epic to look like the fucking good guys.
Yes,
this
of course.
This is once again, this is politics, bro.
Dude, a no-name card game called Gods Unchained, some unknown thing, announced that not only would they pay for the lost winnings for this Hearthstone player, but they would give him an instant invite to their $500,000 tournament coming up. Which is just, it's the same. It's a play. It's a play. It's a
publicity play.
I can't.
I like it.
I like it. I like it.
Pay this. You know what? This dude, if he's smart, he takes that money.
Absolutely.
He wins that tournament.
Yes.
And he says the same goddamn thing
on their tournament.
And he walks away.
And he walks away. Yes. Yes. That's the best. That's the best timeline right there. Yes. That's the best timeline.
That's what I do.
That's the best fucking timeline.
I mean, hey, I agree. You know what? Epic is just doing. Epic is looking for brownie points in a world where they need them. Because this stuff, you know what I mean?
But I'm happy that it happened because as soon as it gets tested,
we're gonna find out.
We will light a fire under their ass like everyone else.
We're gonna fucking find out.
But you know what this did for me personally is that there is a difference for me. Before I say this, I'll preface this by saying there's a difference between being involved in China, the Chinese market, or having investors from China, and this. These are different scenarios. If there was a spectrum,
dude, these companies are massive, bro.
We're in big different territory, right?
These are massive companies, bro. Like these
I'm fully aware.
Big daddios, and these aren't even big daddios in today.
I'm fully aware.
There's projected big bucks. They ain't fucking with that for no motherfucker on live TV.
So
not today, not ever.
So, but what it is for me personally is that it's going to become more obvious which companies are in which of those two camps, which are just getting investment or taking part in the Chinese market, and which are taking investment, involved in the Chinese market, and sucking the dick politically of every person that comes across their path for whatever way they can do it. I'm not okay with the companies in this category.
No.
I'm okay with the companies over in this category.
Of course.
So for me personally, it's going to make it, for the first time, I think possibly ever, as far as boycotting goes, it's going to be something that I take much more seriously because, not even because it affects me personally. I don't even play Blizzard games.
Yeah,
like almost ever.
Well, dude, you're passionate. You're passionate about this movement. You think it's bullshit. It's what you believe in, and you're going to stand it. You're going to
crazy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it's outside of just this movement. It's just making me look at companies differently because the world's getting smaller as time goes on. And no one country should have
that much power.
And I know people will say, but what about America? You think America's got a lot of power now? Bitch, you don't even want to know how much power China
we already know. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's a different fucking ballgame.
Yes, I agree, bro. I fully fucking agree.
This is like, it's the...
Me, on the other hand, when Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out, I'm buying it.
I get you.
I'm going to play it.
I get you.
Because at the end of the day, none of this surprises me. I'm not surprised about any of it.
I'm not surprised
And I'm saying good on that kid for doing what he did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not going to say good on Activision Blizzard for what they did, because what they did, they played their cards, they showed them, but we always kind of knew what deck they were playing with anyway. At the end of the day, it's business, and I don't take business personally. I'm not running $1 trillion companies. I'm not in bed with very powerful people. That's just the way the world works, and it's not even just video games, bro. It is like that in virtually every industry that there is.
Yeah.
It just so happens that this was in a public forum, that's just it.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. It's crazy. It's wild.
Crazy.
It's wild. I'm sure we'll hear more about this. As
there
the
will be
come.
more to talk about it for sure. Okay, into other gaming news. Red Dead Redemption is coming to the PC November 5th. You know this because they immediately announced a no-pixel server will be produced for it.
Yep.
Which is no big surprise because it's not going to be a huge undertaking for them to do that, I suspect.
Well,
and we'll make
at least not a basic one. You're going to need to do a shitload of modifications.
Well, there's a lot of mods for the game for sure to happen.
Yeah.
But they'll make a lot of money on it, so they'll do it. And to answer questions ahead of time, will Adam be on it? No.
I am going to be playing Auto-Tune Tyrone's great grandfather.
Yes.
Who escaped the plantation.
It's pretty good.
And he's going to the city, I forget the name of it, of Red Dead, to become a country music singer. And it's going to be the origin of OTT. And his dad's name was Tyrone, who OTT is named after. And as of late, since I heard about this, I'm planting Easter eggs in my GTA RP, talking about my great grandfather and little tiny things. And I'm going to start saying stories about like how my great grandfather was on a horse, chased by these people, and he shot them all down, and then he picked up something, and it gave him idea for lyrics, and that's how he wrote his first. I'm gonna do all that stuff, and then I'm gonna make all those stories come true in the RP. Or maybe when I do them, it actually doesn't happen like that. And if it doesn't happen like that, then my great grandfather will tell somebody that it happened the way that Auto-Tune Tyrone heard it.
Right.
So say if my great grandfather failed his mission, he's gonna lie about it to make himself sound good, and then that was the story that you know what I mean. I'm gonna tie it all together. It'll be fun.
Sounds beautiful.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I just don't want to spend like 15 hours waiting in queue because you know damn well that everyone that's on the current NoPixel server will be the ones on the Red Dead server.
Yes.
Meaning, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this will be your chance to get." No, it's not. Motherfucker, all the same people are going to be on that server.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I don't think it's going to be very big for long. I think the Red Dead will be good for about 2 weeks to a month because people are so attached to Grand Theft Auto stuff.
Hard to step away from that.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the world is so big and there's they'd have to implement fast travel because there's you don't have cars that go 135 miles an hour. And I think the Red Dead is 5 times as big as the Grand Theft Auto world.
You just need 750 individual horses strapped to a cart, Jeff.
Yeah, pretty much. They would need fast travel. There's a ton of mods that you need to do. But I think people are going to fuck with it for a while. I think that the Red Dead stuff could be big in a couple of years and once it really starts to flourish, and then the GTA stuff people peer away from that. Or at the very least, it'll be an opportunity. Say if the big guys don't stick around for Red Dead RP, which I believe they probably won't.
Yeah.
It'll be great for newer people to create their own stories and become their own stars in that world, and then maybe eventually we'll see some more crossover. But either way, more content. It's great.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. And it will be 150 gigs of storage space.
Woo! It's a lot.
In related news, they just talked about the size for the Modern Warfare release, 175 gigs.
It's a nope for me, dog.
Can we just... Okay, I made a tweet about this earlier today when I saw that, and I was like, all right, look, what the fuck happened between 2018 and 2019 in games? We went from people going nuts over 50 gigs last year because we started getting like uncompressed 4K textures or uncompressed audio where it was running it up to like 50 gigs. And now, a year later,
150.
We're tripling that and higher for games that are no bigger, no more, they're no more feature packed. They're the same 4K textures and 150. So my best guess when I put in this tweet was that it's but there's no reason for it. They're just not compressing.
Well, they stopped giving a fuck with compressing. They're like,
anything.
you know what? Hard drives wrote nowadays, fuck it.
But you know what you follow that up with is which is weird. It's like cross purposes with the fact that everyone's downloading games now. It's like the last thing you want to do is like run the fucking Like this would be the time to compress shit, not when it was on discs. Like this would be even more like a reason to do that. And then my thought process was these motherfuckers are leaving these massive ass file sizes, knowing full well that people running SSDs and shit for their games, that they're only going to be able to have like 2 fucking games on their hard drive, maybe 3. And it's going to increase the odds of them playing their game and spending money in their game. So they're just leaving the shit uncompressed, making it, and it's going to be it's going to be like a metric. It's going to be look how big Dick is. Our game's 175 gigs. That's how fucking good our game is because it's huge.
So much content.
175 gigs.
Zero compression.
Get
compression. Fucked.
Hear every last fucking pin drop.
Boom.
Uncompressed.
Deal with it.
Audio.
Better get that SSD.
192 kilohertz.
Better do what I did and get like a 4 terabyte.
2 terabyte.
2 terabyte.
It's a good thing I got
state.
one too because 1 terabyte we would have been fucked.
I have like 2 games installed on my computer.
Yeah.
That's it. I know. Fuck games.
Well, by the looks of it, pretty soon those 2 games are going to take up the full 2 terabytes you got.
Honest to God, you want to know what's going to happen to me, bro? I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, and I truly do mean this. I've been playing games for a living now for a long fucking time.
It's true.
All right? We're going on 9 years.
We're old men, Jeff.
All right? I'm going to tell you this definitively.
I'm 31 on Sunday.
Jesus.
That's right. I'm coming for you.
I'm telling you right now, this is what's going down. When I throw in the towel, when I'm officially done playing video games for a living, and I think I'll always play games to stream, here and there.
Yeah,
hobbyist
shit.
shit.
Yes.
hopefully, fingers crossed, I still got some more, quite a bit of time left in this awesome career.
There are dudes that are pretty big on the site. They're like 40 something, so we got some time.
Yeah, okay, that's good. So say for example, 3 years down the road, okay? 3 years down the road, I go, okay, I'm done. I want to go do something else in my life, at least on a part-time basis. This is what I'm doing, bro. I'm done with games, bro.
Okay.
I'm done with these new fucking games.
You're playing these ones.
I'm going back to this. I shit you not, bro.
Yeah.
When my son starts to get older.
Yeah. Oh, this is where he starts.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it, bro. I'm checking the fuck out. I'm saying, you know what? I made my cake. I'm done with this goddamn video game shit. I'm not fucking buying these fucking 4-part Final Fantasy VII games. I'm not spending $1.5 billion on this and that. I'm not getting a 22 terabyte fucking solid state drive to download 4 games. I'm over it. I'm going back to basics. I'm going back to the shit that I loved. I haven't loved a game
long time
in
bro.
a fucking long
time.
I love the RP. I love that shit because I get to create my own thing, and it doesn't even feel like I'm playing a game at that point. I'm almost like living another life.
Game is a vehicle. It's not actually you're not actually playing the game. It's a vehicle.
But
for
in
RP.
terms of actual games, like to buy a game to play it,
get excited to go buy a game.
No, that doesn't happen to me. No. That doesn't. I don't pre-order shit.
No,
I don't fucking run out at midnight to go buy a game anymore.
No,
I just don't fucking care. And you know what? All the power to the people that do. But I'm 32. Like you said, you're turning 31. I'm turning 33. I've seen it all, bro. I've been through the generations of great gaming. I've been there and done that. I've been through the leaps and bounds. I've played them all. I've seen it all. And it's become so monotonous, so unspecial, so unmotivating. Now, there are gems within this fuck show. There are gems where you play it and you go, damn, that was a good game.
Yes, yeah.
But ask me if I'm in love with it. Ask me, if I can't stop thinking about it, or I want to play it again, or I want to, no. And maybe that is to do with the fact I've played games for a living and I've done it too much. I'm sure there's a chunk of that where there is a part of that is the problem.
Perhaps part of it, yeah.
But I'm telling you, bro.
I also think games are just, on average, really not great.
They're just bland. It's just regurgitated bland bullshit. And it's more expensive. It's more noise. It's more flash. It's more microtransactions. It's more business. And it's always been business, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just done. So when I'm done with this thing that we got going on, bro, I'm going back to basics. I'll probably buy, I shit you not, I'll probably buy 1 game a year. Like a game that, like, damn, you know what, that looks fucking good. And I'm going to play it by myself. I'm going to try and enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to come back to these. And I've got so many fucking great games on this wall that I look at just this little area here, and I could pick up Mario 64 right now and play it for 7 hours and love it. And I've done it a bajillion times. I could go and pop in Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10. I know it's a bad one to say, but these types of games, the classics, the ones that speak to me, the ones that Donkey Kong, like these, I don't know if it's just a nostalgia to me. I don't know.
Some of it's going to be nostalgia. Some of it's going to come from a time where everything was still new because not everything had been done
that
yet.
Is, you know what? That's probably it. That's probably it.
And now that we're at a point where it's getting harder and harder to do something that's new, and the stuff that is new is generally smaller on scale because it's too risky for bigger companies to do.
I agree.
Like once in a blue moon, you'll get like a Cuphead.
Yes, and that was an amazing game. Did I love it though? No, but man, I appreciated it.
The fuck out of it.
I appreciated it because it was something different.
Yeah.
And it was unique, and I enjoyed it, and I had fun. But those things, and I'll keep buying those games. I'll keep purchasing those games. But these big AAA titles and these fucking regurgitated, we're on Call of Duty like fucking 48. You know what I mean? We're on, we're just seeing it all, and it's annoying. It's fucking annoying. We're sitting here talking about politic bullshit with fucking Activision Blizzard. It's all annoying.
That's where games are,
yeah,
bro.
That's where I'm fucking over it, bro. I'm over it, and I just want to go back to basics, and I want to enjoy it. And you know what? That's one part about getting older that I think I'm gonna really enjoy is where I don't need to be in the know anymore. I have more important, better shit to do with my life instead of playing this fucking garbage.
It's kind of annoying to me too, because when I grew up, I really enjoyed being in the know about all this stuff. Like when I was writing reviews, I still plan on doing review writing and shit. But like when I was like doing it for fun on the side, and I was writing that shit, and I was up on everything.
You were passionate about it.
To podcast shit, because games at the time they weren't at the very least they weren't politicized to fuck. And there was still enough new, or maybe less about it being new and more about it being that it's always been business. But in like the last, let's say,
decade,
5 to 10 years, it's dramatically.
Yeah. It's business.
As we've seen the
business
number,
first, gaming
as we've
second.
seen the number of publishers and developers drop, and the number of like bigger ones that survive, they get bigger and bigger, and they get shittier and shittier. It's made it progressively less fun to keep up with the ebb and flow of the video game market as time goes on.
I agree.
And so, and then there was this magical window of like 2007 to like 2000 and maybe 12, where the indie market, was that instead. But now we can't. Now the indie market's been tainted by the shit.
Yeah.
So you can't even like
now the indie
always
market,
rely on
if
the indie market.
wants to put out a game, you better go on Epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta go,
and
then every time that happens, you gotta hear
and then
about
you gotta hear about the
everyone
bullshit on fucking everything else.
bitch and complain about it.
People want to fucking take you out and fucking
Kill you.
fuck your wife.
Yeah. See, like there's
Fun.
like, can we just have some fucking games?
Can we just have some
and
fun?
Just play some games.
Can we have some fucking fun? Does there need to be political bullshit around it? Do I need to? Can I buy a game and pay for the game and actually play it, or is it going to require me to pay another $60 in fucking upsells before I get the full experience? That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, like I said, to get back to my point, when this is done, and hopefully not anytime soon, but when this is done, bro, I'm going back to motherfucking basics. I'm going back to basics, bro, until I see the industry changes or I fall in love with the prospect. I want to see a game that I go, oh my fuck, I need that in my life. I want it so bad.
Yes.
I want to get excited. I want it to feel like Christmas. When I hear a game coming, I'm like, oh yes, give me more.
I had one of those and it ended up disappointing me, and now it's going to be even harder for me to get excited for in the future.
What game was that?
Persona 5.
Yeah.
Because Persona 4 is my top 3 games of all time. Persona 5 was announced, and everything leading up to it looks so fucking fired. And it is one of the most visually stunning games. Fucking music is a 10 out of 10. Gameplay is still fire. And then they have one character in it.
I know, you fucking raged.
Fucking goddamn Morgana that ruined the entire game.
We heard that for an hour one podcast, bro. You went in fucking...
Now it's Persona 5 Royal coming, and they've changed it from a cat to a person, and it's still there, and I want to fucking kill whoever it is, because it ruined the whole game. I haven't beaten it. I have the collector's edition sitting at home right now. Haven't beaten the fucking game.
Fuck it.
And that's the last one that I got truly. And before that, it's been a hot minute before that. So now I haven't had anything since.
No, I know.
Nothing. And even if I do, now I'm like, well, is it going to turn into another Persona 5? Am I just going to get fucked on?
And I'm very curious, the people that are watching and listening to this podcast, let me know in the comment section or in the chat here live. Has there been a game in the last 5 years, say even 10 years, or even open it up even wider, where you truly were absolutely, like, I'm not talking about, oh, you're looking forward to it. I'm talking about a game that you are so pumped for, and then you get it, and it delivers, and it's this experience, almost like childlike experience, but as an adult, where you just absolutely love the game. I'm very curious to see it because I don't know if it's an age thing where I'm just getting older and I'm more jaded.
There's going to be a million people that say Witcher 3.
Oh, and hey, I've never played it, so I can't say no to that. And you know what's great? Some people could say literally. Some people could say,
Could be anything.
Could be anything.
It really could be anything.
Some people could say Destiny 2.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm asking them because it's subjective.
It's subjective.
I mean, I'm not going to say
when they last look forward to a game.
When they last looked forward to a game and it delivered, and you had that fucking that orgasmic, excited thing where it's like you get the game, and then you like want to call in from work, or you want to like just fucking play this game because it's so much fun. You really truly escape from the world, and you just, that's what gaming was to me, and that's what I fell in love with. I haven't had that feeling in a long fucking time. The closest thing I get now is playing RP, but it's a little different, It's a huge collaborative it's a huge collaborative thing, and yes, it is still work, but that's the closest thing I would say to a euphoric gaming experience.
Yeah.
And obviously that's even tainted because I get paid to do it. You know what I mean? And I get paid well to do it. So there's part of that mixes in as well.
Yeah.
Would I be I do play RP by myself, but would I be as passionate and willing if it wasn't my job? I don't think so. Would I still enjoy it? Absolutely. But I haven't had those feelings in a very, very long time. I really, truly haven't. And I want it back.
If you asked me 10 years ago if I'd be completely indifferent to the remake of Final Fantasy VII, I'd tell you you're crazy. I'd be like, I'm there for it as soon as that is coming. I'm gonna buy it. But
I know.
I actually don't care. I don't even know why I'm buying it. To be honest, I think I'm buying it just because.
Well, you have to.
Just because.
You have to.
You have to.
I mean, you just have to. It's Final Fantasy
you
remake,
feel like you have
and I'll
to.
be honest, it looks pretty fucking fire at face value. So I mean,
but you know what? I don't think that's going to turn into anything that I actually think is valuable as a gaming experience. I think it's just going to be like every other Square Enix game. It's going to be pretty, and it's going to be fucking.
And bro, I'm going to go in there. I'm
boring.
going to go in there, and I'm not going to prejudge it. I'm not going to like look for it to fail.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in there,
see how it goes,
and be optimistic and see how it goes. If it's great, I'll say it's great. If it's okay, I'll say it's okay. If it's dog shit, I'll say it's dog shit. But you know what? Ultimately, bro, if this game is fire,
yeah,
I don't care at that point if I got to do this in 4 installments, as long as I'm getting that feeling of being excited.
If anything can provide that feeling,
of
I'm there
loving
for
it and excited
100%.
and can't wait for it.
Yes.
If they can provide that for me, take my fucking money. You've earned it.
If Cyan Games came out tomorrow and said we're making another Myst game, that's me.
There you go.
I'm excited about it.
There you go.
It's not going to happen.
Nope.
But I'd be excited about it.
There you go.
If they came out and said we're redoing Riven in its entirety in VR, I'd come thrice. And I'd get excited about it. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
But they're like a short list. The last time I think I felt like about a game like that would have been Mass Effect 2. Because Mass Effect came out of nowhere. And I was hooked on phonics, and then Mass Effect 2 came out, and it met my expectations.
Yeah, it was a
Mass
great
Effect
game.
2 fucking crushed it.
It's a great game.
So it's been, what was Mass Effect 2? Fuck.
A long time ago.
2007, 9, 2000.
I would say at least 11 years.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So I don't know, and I can't think of anything on the horizon that's coming up. I want the Halo stuff to do well, but I'm not.
So yeah, I'm very
for it.
interested to see what the comment section below, and if anybody there agrees with kind of like what we're saying. I know it's a bit damper. It's not saying I don't enjoy games, because I do, but I'm talking about that. I think everybody that listens to this podcast is a gamer, I would imagine.
Yeah.
99%. I think everybody understands what that thing that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a good time. I'm not talking about like, yeah, that was great. But I think y'all know that fucking that it's, you just know it.
Next Elder Scrolls game would have done it for me, but now I have no faith. Right now, you know what God Howard's doing right now? Thanking the Lord that Blizzard has taken all the heat off of him.
Yes, they're toasting champagne right now.
Yes.
Going
super happy about that.
Fuck yeah, bro. But you know what that asshole will do? He'll probably be at the next conference and he'll have a bunch of people from Hong Kong talking about
they're gonna pay people from China to sit in the front row and cheer.
Bro, the first 3 rows will be Asian people.
And the camera will be on them like 80% of the time.
There'll be a Hong Kong flag in the background.
No, it won't be Hong Kong.
Sorry.
It'll be mainland China in the background.
Mainland China in the background. Just like that, dude. I'm telling you, bro. That's the type of shit that motherfucker will pull.
Yes,
because he don't care. All the power to him.
Just a casual reminder. Fuck you, God Howard. fuck you for ruining my entire.
Isn't it funny how like 2 years ago, God Howard and we were like amped about him, and we were like, fuck yeah, and we were like,
because we were willing to give him one more shot. Yeah,
and then he just fucking
came up and it's like, nah, bro, you fucked. That was it. You had one more shot. You fucked it so hard, bro. And he has continued to fuck it up since. He hasn't stopped. The train hasn't stopped.
I love it, bro. I love it. What's next?
Oh my goodness. PlayStation 5 specs and features started to surface. So it is the 8-core processor from AMD.
Yep.
SSD, as we already knew, but the discussions around what those parts will actually mean for developers was what I took away from this article. Basically, the discussion was that, with console gaming, that it would have trickled into PC gaming because they get ported to PC often because the console market historically has been so much bigger.
Yeah.
Is that the amount of like little tricks and concessions that they have to make games work well on consoles is largely because of the processing power, but most of it really, honestly, is probably the storage, where it was a 5,400 RPM hard drive, which is dirt slow. And so a lot of inefficiencies come out of that to make those tricks work. And then you get the classic, elevator loading, or, your doors are like the loading gate, anything that they can get their hands on to make the player feel like they haven't gotten into a loading screen, but they're watching a loading screen. And with consoles, the thing that is different from PCs is that because you're working in an environment where the developer knows that all of them are going to act the exact same way, it's all going to be the same hardware, they can be really specific about how they make efficient the loading of games and how things are drawn in, etc., to the point where they're talking about how the next generation of consoles, specifically in this case the PlayStation 5, is going to largely eliminate even the fake-looking loading screen.
That's cool.
Or get it down to a point where it's
So
going to be
minimal.
almost
Yeah.
very minimal.
Yeah.
And then they talked about their UI, where they're really hoping in this generation, because of the cloud capabilities, to be able to hook into games, especially multiplayer games, of which there are endless amounts these days, and your friends list and stuff, to make it easier to hop in on the fly to whatever game with whoever you want from the dashboard, and not have to go through the process of boot the system, go to that dashboard, boot the game, go to the list in the game, join your friends. Instead, it's just boot the system, join your friends.
Go,
right?
go.
Stuff like that. So
That's dope.
talked about that. The guy got to see or hold the new controller, said it was remarkably like the DualShock 4, but had some changes. It looked like a spot where there was going to be a microphone, but they weren't ready to talk about that yet. There's a bigger touchpad looking thing on it than the last one. The haptic feedback they did talk about, which was substantially improved, to the point where they were doing tests with going, like, say, driving through mud or on ice or whatever, and the range of how the rumble felt, I should say, the guy said dramatically better than what we would have had in previous generations, to where it's not just like the level of the rumble anymore. Now it's a feel to it too. A much bigger feel. They also discussed things like in the triggers, where they're considering or looking into doing progressive pressure. So let's say you were pressing a brake in a car, and the further into the throw you go, the more resistance it gets. And you add that with a haptic feedback like you would in a car. The harder you press the brake in, the more rumble that's going to be a much more immersive experience with the controller. It's going to be cool when you're driving cars, because then you're going to feel how hard you're pressing the brake. Because up to this point, and as somebody who's played a lot of racing games, you know that there's a range to it, but you can't really feel.
It doesn't
how
feel
much. You have to wait to see how your car's reacting to be able to tell.
Agree. Yeah.
So stuff like that's really cool. Things of that nature. He also said that the dev kit that was there looked remarkably like the one from all of the schematics that we were making fun of a couple weeks ago. And man, that was an ugly looking fucking box.
Yeah, but that's just going to be the test console.
I hope it continues to just be a test console, because that'd be some shit. That'd be some shit. I just thought it was funny that it did in fact look like that, because you almost want to imagine that you would rather just have a dev box that's a square.
And it's coming Christmas 2020,
which is what we assumed was likely going to be the case.
Yep. Xbox is next. We'll see what their play is.
We'll see. Well, again, they're going to have the same hardware.
Yep.
Really, at the end of the day. So it'll be an interesting development. We'll hear more about those as things come along. Next up was something I just found kind of interesting. The Microsoft Flight Simulator, which has been around for a long time, and they've been, mostly hands off of it for long stretches of time, but they're getting back into doing a full refresh of this bad boy, to the point where they are using Bing's satellite system to map the globe for this game, and some 40,000 airports. So they're using the satellite imagery.
It's aggressive.
Plus some AI driven photogrammatic techniques to 3D model it, and then apply texture and stuff to it appropriately to make it look as good as possible. with the weather effects and all that shit, and literally mapping the fucking world.
I mean, that's cool.
That's crazy to me.
That's cool.
It's 2 petabytes of information. And if you don't know what a petabyte is,
It's a lot.
that's 2,000 terabytes. That's so much. That's so much data. So the game itself is obviously not that, but like what they're using to create the world that there's 2 petabytes of information.
Yikes.
That is.
Let's hope they compress that.
Oh, no, bro. They're gonna come out and say our game is fucking dope. 2 petabytes. Beat that.
You have to
Call
have a
of
fucking
Duty.
hard drive the size of this wall.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
Activision. Look at the size of our game.
This will be the only game you'll have on your PC forever.
Forever is it.
That's it.
It's the show. But yeah, so there you go.
That's
I thought
cool.
that was kind of cool. The ESRB, you know, the company that does all the rating systems for games, responded to Angry Joe and a few other YouTubers who had cracked down on them about their E-rating for NBA 2K20. And we discussed 2K20 weeks ago.
The gambling.
It was basically a gambling game that had a sprinkling
Of basketball.
Yes. You got basketball in my casino.
NBA Casino.
That's bad.
2K.
So you know, it was. I mean, it's about as much simulated gambling as you could cram into a video game that anyone's ever accomplished. I mean, short of the casino in Grand Theft Auto, this is the most gambling in any game I can think of. They called the YouTubers, Angry Joe and the rest, were calling them out on this E rating because in the ESRB. The teen rating is where, you know how there's always E rating, but then there's descriptors of what that means. So whether it's like, you know, cartoon violence or like actual violence, realistic violence, things of that nature. The descriptor for simulated gambling starts at the teen rating. So they were going, guys, why is this rated E for everyone?
It's just gambling.
There's obviously the most blatantly obvious simulated gambling in this game. And then they alluded to previous Pokemon games, which had simulated gambling in them, where and the YouTubers like mislabeled that it was a teen-rated Pokemon game because it was one with gambling in it. But as it turns out, and so this is what the SCP responded to them with because they were mistaken with that, but it ends up being. It ends up contradicting themselves anyway. So they responded by saying, "Oh, by the way, you got the Pokemon thing wrong. You were thinking of I think it was Gold Silver, and it was still given an E rating, but it had simulated gambling in it.
I remember that.
And then
little slot machine.
Yeah, and then the YouTubers were like, okay, well, so you're telling us that also had simulated gambling in it that you are saying was simulated gambling, but it was still an E rating instead of a teen rating. And then now with 2K20." They said in the response that they don't consider what's in 2K20 to be simulated gambling.
Bro,
So,
the Pokemon analogy is dumb as fuck. You didn't pay fucking any money to go into enroll some whatever.
no, this was the YouTubers calling them out like that they had done that before, where it was like even this happened, but when the ESRB said that it was simulated
but I'm
gambling,
saying if the ESRB does not think that 2K is gambling, the
Pokemon game was.
But the Pokemon game was.
That's what they're saying.
I mean, it's got to be a typo.
No, that was the release.
I'm blaming China. I'm just blaming China. I don't know why, but I feel like I should.
Holy shit.
My brain, bro.
How do you
My brain.
How do you go from saying like they shot themselves in the foot like 4 different times there? It was
my brain is just.
It was the Pokemon. They're saying the Pokemon was simulated gambling. NBA 2K20 wasn't simulated gambling, but they still gave the Pokemon an E rating instead of a T rating, and the same for NBA 2K20.
How did they explain how the NBA 2K is not simulated
they just said
gaming?
that it's in their
Gambling?
opinion.
Their wrong opinion. I mean, you can have your opinion, but you're wrong.
Like I could tell you right now that this tablecloth is blue.
It's clearly red.
It's clearly red.
I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah.
But if you are in charge of literally putting a rating on a game, you ought to just get your facts right.
At least.
I mean, at that part, it's actually your job.
Yes.
You are in charge.
That is the show.
That's
all you have to
if
do.
you're not competent at that, you actually can't do this. As you can't do this.
It's crazy, bro.
I'm blaming
crazy.
China. I bet it was China.
It's crazy.
It's China.
So that's a fucking gong show. The 2K20 thing makes me laugh because it really is just a giant gambling simulator that just so happens to have some basketball sprinkled on top of it, and that's just where gaming's at, bro. That's where we are. That's where we're at in gaming. You can't even get a sports game anymore to play sports.
Fuck me, man.
Shit's rough.
Just whatever. It's done. Fuck them.
Doom Eternal got delayed quite substantially, actually. It was supposed to come out in November. It was November 22nd of this year, and it got delayed all the way into March 20th, 2020. And they gave their, the usual spiel. I'll give you the spiel. Throughout the development of Doom Eternal, our goal has been to deliver a game that exceeds your greatest expectations across the board. To make sure that we're delivering the best experience for Doom Eternal to live up to our standards of speed and polish, we've made the decision to extend our launch date by a few months to March 20th of 2020. We know many fans will be disappointed by this delay, but we are confident that Doom Eternal will deliver a gaming experience that is well worth the wait. In addition to shifting the Doom Eternal launch date, we've made a couple of other changes we want you to know about. Invasion Mode, which will allow you to enter another player's game as a playable demon, will release as a free update shortly after the launch. Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch will release after the other platforms. We will announce that date in the future.
Oh, so excited.
We have no idea when that's going to happen. And then the Doom 64 thing, which will be available on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and in addition to the Nintendo Switch, we are adding Doom 64 as a pre-order bonus on all platforms, not just the Switch this time, so that you can download and play this classic game for free just for pre-ordering Doom Eternal. Doom 64 will be released on March 20th on all platforms. So Doom 64 is going to hit the Switch before Doom Eternal does as a pre-order bonus for Doom Eternal.
What a fucking shit show.
It's the casual 5 alarm.
I just don't. You know what? Cool.
I wasn't going to play it anyway, but I just love those releases. I love because they generally say the same thing. So sometimes I like to see what words they change to make it look like a new. Like they're saying something different.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? I know I fucked you, but I used lube.
So, can you really complain? Because I could have not used lube.
I could have done a casual saliva spit, I could have actually used the lube, or I could have went in dry and fucked you even harder and you wouldn't have enjoyed it. I used the lube.
High quality lube.
Yeah, I went
Not the off-brand shit.
I went down to my local sex store.
That's right.
I got it was $19.99 for this little tiny tube.
Damn. 2 uses.
That's it. And you know what? I put all the lube on.
$10 a fuck.
No. I put the whole 2 uses for one.
$20
so that
bang.
You almost didn't feel it.
Damn. Is it in yet?
It's well worth the wait. Who gives a fuck about Doom, bro? I mean, apparently a lot of people do. So
yeah, a lot of
people do. But
a lot of people do.
I'm sorry, Doom fans.
I'm more excited about the fact that they're re-releasing Doom 64 than I am about the fact that...
Ask me if I'm pre-ordering this game so I can play Doom 64.
Yes.
It's nope.
The answer's no. You provide it separately?
It's a hard nope.
I'll think about it. That's it. That's all I got for game news, Jeff.
Movies and TV.
I have one thing listed here, and that's for us to talk about Joker.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Oh, did you like it?
Em and I went to it. Well, that's what this whole segment can now be about. But we got to let people know, as always...
You want to do spoilers?
How can we review this and not spoil?
Let's try not to spoil, and then next week we can go into more detail.
Okay.
Because the movie just came out. A lot of people didn't.
That's true.
A lot of people didn't see it, so we'll do spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
But we'll just do general, sort of feels for the movie and stuff like that.
Okay. No spoil. All right. So no spoilers on this one then. Okay. So how did I feel about it? I think that it is the best acted Joker, besting Heath Ledger in terms of the acting portion of the Joker. Mm-hmm. It is the most, and intentionally so, and this is where we'll dodge as many as possible here, but intentionally as planted in reality as any other Joker has been. Heath's was like, in that Batman movie was...
It was very comic booky, but...
It was the edgy, gritty wit that borrowed from reality a bit, and it was certainly less comic booky than the Jokers that came before him.
Yes.
But it was still comic book Joker.
It was still a little over the top.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't ultra realistic.
This was hyper realism.
Yeah.
And fuck me, he did a really good job of the transformational, like the transformation of the Joker over the movie.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything that he could have done better. They non-verbally showed.
Yes.
And by they, I mean he did. Non-verbally showed the transformation of Joker in a way that I didn't even think it was humanly fucking possible. And it actually disturbed me in a couple of scenes.
Yep.
Like, actually disturbed me. Not just, kind of, like, ooh. Like, I because it was so planted in reality, it made it easier to get disturbed because it felt so real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, really good. I have one mar on the whole movie, one mark against it. And that is how obvious it was with how careful they tiptoed around who interacted with the Joker and in what ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, what I mean by that is, in relation to who influenced Joker to become Joker, which, whether that was the people that were negatively impacting him or the people that were positively impacting him, who they chose to be that. So they did everyone who was nice to Joker, you'll notice, minorities, whether it was a person of color or it was somebody who was a midget or anything. In fact, he calls that one out specifically at one point. Mm-hmm. There is not, and then everyone who negatively impacts him is a white dude throughout the entire movie. Which didn't pull me out, but it was something I noticed because it's one of those things where that kind of stuff does, and it bothered me that I didn't think about it in the theater. I thought about it afterwards when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about here. Is that the only thing I could come up against the movie was that for as realistic as it was, that portion of it, which they're doing it to catch as little flack as possible. It still ended up getting politicized anyway, but it's getting politicized for different reasons. Mm-hmm. But they managed to do it in a way that it was like the check boxes of, we can't have any sexism, we can't have any racism, we can't have any of this stuff. We just need to avoid all of that.
Yeah.
And that was a little too obvious to me. Other than that, everything else about this movie is fucking perfect. The cinematography in this movie,
man, it's a pretty looking movie.
I haven't seen shots like that in a fucking
and the soundtracks
long
were
time.
Just the dude,
bang on.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck.
So I'm guessing out of 10.
Shit's like a 9.9.
Okay.
Shit's like a 9.9.
All right. So my hot take. It's not even really hot. It's just my take. I didn't notice that, but you just said. And I've probably listened to virtually every Joker review and spoiler review on the internet at this point, and nobody else has mentioned that. Now that you do mention it, I see it, but I'm not sure it affects the way.
Like I said, I didn't know.
And,
I didn't
I'm a
notice
minority, so I mean, I guess like I can't really
like in the theater. I didn't notice. It didn't come to my mind. It was just something that when I was sat back and I was analyzing it for the sake of talking about it because I knew we were going to. That was just something that came up, and so it didn't affect my movie seeing experience. But it's something that I just look back and go, I'm not.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm saddened that they had to think about.
I don't know if they actually did think about that. That's a good. I mean, it's a good observation, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that
if I was a betting man in 2019, I'd say there's more more of a chance that was something. I mean, look at fucking.
There was one scene,
Captain Marvel, for Christ's sake.
Yes, I understand
right?
that. But this is basically a movie that was made under Scorsese's wheelhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this really felt like a movie. And he actually just made a comment about, and we can talk about that next.
Sure.
But so anyway, there was one scene in particular where, and there's no spoilers here, but there was a scene where there was basically a movie or a ballet show or something going on, a movie, and it was in a rich white area.
Right.
And I did notice it was all white people, but then there was one black, because I was looking through the audience. I'm like, did they put any black people in it? And there was one black woman. That was the only time I ever thought about color or minority in the movie. The movie was disturbing. It was uncomfortable. It was even embarrassingly like there were a couple moments that like you know when there's like you see something embarrassing, hard to watch. Hard to watch stuff. And it wasn't like, not in a bad way.
No.
But like in a very effective way.
I think that shows how grounded in reality the movie was.
Yes.
Because that's only something that you're watching like America's Funniest Home Videos. It's not funny, it's just cringy.
Yes.
But you know it's real, so you feel for them.
Exactly. This was very similar.
Yes, yeah.
And there was also a sort of a twist in there, which I'm sure you can probably think of, that I did not see coming, where I went, oh, fuck. That, and then things started like, I started piecing it together. I was like, oh, because there was one part in the movie where there was a shift that happens and he does something with somebody, and I'm like, I don't buy that. And then I just kind of forgot about it, and it just went on, and then it clicked, and I go, oh, this movie's smart. And it was the movie.
They dropped a hint about it earlier.
Yes.
that tipped me off to it, and I know what scene you're talking about where you questioned it.
Yes, but I never once sat there and go, got it. You know, like, oh, this is that. It made me think about it, and it was kind of out of the blue, but at the same time, I could kind of see it.
And then they make you question at the end again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was what was cool about it, is that ending was really cool. It's, for me, out of 10, it's a 10.
Yeah.
I think it is the best acted comic book movie, because it's DC side.
Oh, period. It's not not even close.
Ever made. We're talking Logan, all of it.
Yeah.
This, by far, ladies and gentlemen,
crushes it.
Is the best acted comic book movie.
It's the best acted movie I've seen in a hot minute.
In at least a decade. He's going to get an Oscar nom, and he's probably going to win.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Now, I can see why some people didn't like the movie. Number one, people probably went in there thinking it's another comic movie, a lot more action.
Yeah.
Bro, there was enough action in this. And when I say action, I mean there was enough confrontation in this.
Yes.
That it was so nicely, it was realistic action.
It was used
very
effectively. It wasn't overused. It was used efficiently.
You weren't seeing Joker with a Tommy gun going crazy and doing what. It was very, very well done. I can see why some people, especially the norm, like even Logan, which was a much more realistic comic book movie, had tons of fucking over-the-top comic book action.
Yeah.
This was the opposite. This was a character piece. This wasn't even a Joker movie. This was an Arthur movie. And it isn't until the end where you start to see Joker. And even then, I truly don't even believe we've seen Joker. And on top of that, Joaquin Phoenix even has come out and said he is willing to do another one. This movie's making so much money. Where
he said he had fun on set.
He loved it. He can see where this character can go, and I believe if we get another one, which money talks, and I think we're going to, I think we're going to see him take the character to another level. And that next level, Ultra, will be also realistic, but I think people will get that little bit more action that they crave, because the character makes sense to be more like the Joker that we kind of know. But man, I
don't even think it's going to be that, though.
You know what? I do.
There'll be bits and pieces of it.
It'll be more of it. The score, phenomenal. And the score added
why it was so good, though, or what makes it so good, is that sometimes you didn't realize it was. You didn't pay attention to it because it was so. Sometimes scores like overshadow the scene.
Yeah.
They're really good scores, but they overshadow the scene.
You're like, this is fire music.
The score in this movie did exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah.
It was a perfect mix.
Yeah.
And
it just and you didn't even really think about the music. It just became one with the scene.
Which is why it's so good.
And it added like even the parts where things are getting intense.
Yeah.
And like the ambiance type shit that they had going on, it just added. It was like my heart was pounding with him.
It was also in the scenes that were meant to be uncomfortable. The music made it so much more uncomfortable.
Guys, this movie, honestly, and some people may not like it simply because it's an uncomfortable watch.
I think for
is.
some people they're not going to like it because it's going to make them think that they've been like some of the people they've seen in this movie,
true.
and they're going to feel. They're almost going to get angry at the movie because it's making them feel like it's going to remind them that they've been.
And it's also scary
that way.
because you go, damn, there are people that are like this, and this makes this is scary.
Yes,
But ultimately, it just goes to how the script was and there wasn't even an insane amount of dialogue. Like there was dialogue, but it was so. The most powerful stuff was when there was no speaking. And it was just seeing this guy go through what he's going through, and you don't. It's not even like you sympathize for him, but at the same time,
well, you do a little bit.
You do a bit, but it's not one of these things where they almost idolize this character and they make him like you're rooting for him, so to speak. You understand why he's doing what he's doing, and you're almost saying no, but at the same time, you're saying yes. It's this weird fucking thing that they going on, which makes it also really uncomfortable. The movie, guys, honestly, for me, it is, if not the best comic book movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Simply from a character standpoint and from just an effective piece of filmmaking. Is there other Marvel movies and comic book movies that I've had a better time in the theater watching? Absolutely. But this right here, this is film. This is like this was just a diamond. This was like bro, I could have watched this movie at 2:00 in the morning, tired as fuck, and I would have been
wide-eyed and
fucking. It would have taken it. I got so lost in this movie that at the end of it, I just couldn't do anything but think about it, and I just loved it. Guys, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Go see it. Give it a chance. You're going to love it. I think we can talk next week. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about certain things.
Dude,
and we can kind of.
Jared Leto talked about how fucking upset he was about not having.
Fuck Jared.
That's what I said in a tweet. I retweeted, said Jared Leto needs to sit the fuck down.
Bruh, I never want it. Bruh, that Jared Leto Joker is.
Well, it was never alive.
Yeah, but I mean now. Bro, I'm telling the guys, this, honest to God, is The Dark Knight like a better comic book movie? Yes. It really is. Is it a better film?
No.
I don't think so.
No. I don't have to think no.
It really isn't.
This is not.
Is it better acted? No.
No.
This Joker movie really is. And I'm telling you guys, this Joker, I know the Heath Ledger thing is like something, it's almost like sacred ground. Exactly. It's like sacred ground.
Yeah.
You don't and the Heath Ledger Joker is incredible. It was the best Joker until this one for me.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is like unprecedented crazy shit. That is just out of this world, realistic, and does so much for this character that it almost changes the way I want to watch comic book movies. And I still want those popcorn fun movies because I want a good time in the theater. I don't want to leave the theater almost like depressed.
Yeah.
Like I did. I didn't leave it depressed, but it's heavy, man. It's like it's a heavy movie.
The thing is, there's only so many comic book characters that let you can do this.
Yeah,
Joker that's why Joker's been done so many different ways because that's.
But you know what? The Batman and they tie this stuff in because ultimately this is a DC movie and there are things in there. Once again, this isn't just, but. I feel like they could do the same with Batman. I feel like
they could for sure.
And Batman really
well, the Batman and Joker specifically.
Yes.
That works.
Yes.
And then most of the other characters
not so much.
Not so much.
But whoo, man, what a fucking piece of film this was. Incredible.
I want to tie one more piece into this.
All right.
I'm going to dance around spoilers as much as I can by talking about it, but I want to talk about it anyway. And and it doesn't really matter what order you watch it. Like if you watch this interview and then go see the movie, it doesn't really matter. Joaquin did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel.
I saw that.
Did you watch that interview?
I saw that, but they debunked it. That was all an act.
I had in my mind, I went when I was watching it in the back of my mind, I went, this is too on the nose. This has to be
it was an act. They came out because there was such an outrage afterwards because people were hating the fact that what they did to Joaquin on there was uncalled for. And they came out and literally said...
But you know what? It's still... So who came out and said that?
I do believe
Whose
it was...
camp?
I do believe it was like Kimmel's camp, Joaquin's side came out and said, like, to think that an actor like that and when you're on a press junket, that they would ever do something like that. For those that don't know, there was a video of him and they want to show a clip, and Jimmy Kimmel made it look like it was a clip of him being so much into character and like cussing out some of the film crew and things like that. And then Joaquin really played it like that was really awkward and it was really uncomfortable. But at the same time, they almost recreated
they did.
Yes. And so I think I have to look into it a bit more, but there were several, I watched several podcasts and things where they came out. I didn't read the articles myself, but it got debunked because they let it go for a bit. But then they came out and said that was all not real. And dude, when I watched it, it was uncomfortable. And I was like, is this really happening right now?
See, here's why I think that's bullshit. I don't think that was fake at all. Because Jimmy Kimmel is a goddamn terrible interviewer, and he's not a good actor.
He acted that very well.
Joaquin Phoenix is a real good fucking actor, but Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, it's either actor. That, and I'd have to look into this more, and we can talk about it next week. But because I think
that's a convenient cover up.
Well, I think at worst case, I think Jimmy Kimmel was told one thing, and then Joaquin's camp was told the other, and Joaquin was the one who was acting.
He's in on it.
And Jimmy wasn't.
Like he punked Jimmy.
Exactly. And so I think.
But does that sound like something Joaquin Phoenix would do?
I mean, for a press junket, like, that thing's got a bajillion millions of views now, right? It's a huge dude. That's a huge marketing play, right? Yeah. But from what I was reading, that yes, it was all a thing, and I was going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's great. We'll talk a little bit more spoilers next week, give you guys more time.
The interview doesn't spoil the movie, no.
No, it doesn't. You can go watch the interview.
Yeah.
The other thing, Martin Scorsese.
Yes.
He comes out and he makes a big statement. He says, comic book movies is not real cinema.
It's not real cinema.
It's not real cinema.
Man, that was an unfortunate time to say that.
And
when the Joker came out.
Well, here's the thing: is the reason why he said that.
Yeah.
Is because he just literally came out with, basically under his umbrella, came out with the Joker. He's the one who got this movie greenlit and pushed out. And I think he said that because his Joker movie is actual cinema. It's actual film.
It's true.
He's talking about, and he says it. It's more the comic book movie said, I've given it a try. I just can't. I can't get into it. It's more like a theme park ride and not actual cinema. And many big actors, including Robert Downey Jr. on Howard Stern, all kinds of directors. James Gunn came out and said, well, it's a shame, somebody whose movies I look up to and watch, it sucks to know that, he isn't giving my movies a try because he doesn't think it's real cinema. Robert Downey Jr. made the off comment like, well, it's in theaters. So, it is cinema. And, there's part of me that agrees with what he's saying. And then there's a part of me that goes, whoa, hold up the fun bus here, bro. You said you've given them a try. Have you really watched, when did you watch? Because comic book movies back 10, 15 years ago are not what they are today. There's been plenty of great cinema in terms of comic book movies, but I also see what he's saying as well, because a lot of it is regurgitated money-making machines cranking out a theme park ride. Because, I mean, that's really what they are ultimately, but it's a good time in the theater. And a lot of people were all up in arms, but at the same time, a lot of people were walking on thin water because it's Martin Scorsese, and they don't want to, overstep their bounds a bit because he is the godfather of filmmaking. And I also think he's salty because he's got The Irishman that is coming out on Netflix that's 3.5 hours long. It's got 100% rating. It's supposed to be one of the most god tier.
Is that available right now?
Not yet, but it's coming out soon to Netflix. And apparently, bro, it's
because I want to watch shit out of that. Yeah.
It's nuts. They use like the de-aging thing, and they have like fucking what's his face from Home Alone, Marv, and
Joe Pesci.
Robert Downey, not Robert, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, and they're using the digital thing. And it's 3.5 hour apparent epic that they tried to get greenlit for theater, and since it costs so much to make, and the studio was like, bro, we're not going to make money on this, right? So he said, fuck it, we'll go to Netflix. Netflix dumps a whole bunch of money, gets this. And I think also part of it is he's out there making fucking film, you know?
Well, I mean, this is like, you know who he reminds me of? Yeah. He reminds me of like when we were doing so much StarCraft content. It's he's the community member that looks at what we did and goes, this isn't StarCraft, motherfucker. You know who's StarCraft?
Yeah.
Boxer. Yeah. Flash. These guys are StarCraft.
All those names
Tasteless,
right up on that OGS jacket.
Getting signed in this jacket. All those. That's StarCraft. This ain't StarCraft. You guys are a bunch of fucking scrubs. And at the end of the day, it's, you know, I watched a Hot Ones episode with Shia LaBeouf the other day. I don't know if you've seen that episode.
I did.
Fire episode.
Dude,
by
Shia
the way.
LaBeouf is an awesome guy.
He's crazy, but he's an awesome
But you know
dude.
what? He's human, and that's what I like.
He's real.
He's
right?
real.
When he says shit, you don't. You know that he's not fucking with you. He's not. He's
an open book.
Up.
He's like, whatever. It is what it is.
So he said something really important. Sean asked him, are memes art? And he said, absolutely, because he said anything that moves you is art. And it's the same thing with these movies. Like, yeah, you can look at Marvel films; they're popcorn movies that you go to, to get jacked up and have a good time. And that's. There is an art form there. There is an art to making somebody feel that way. You don't simply, like you said, 10, 15 years ago, they were still trying to do just that, and they were failing miserably at it. It took time for them to get this formula together, to get people so excited about these movies, and to make these movies so enjoyable to watch. And that is a different kind of enjoyment that somebody gets versus somebody who likes to sit down and watch a thought-provoking, well shot from top to bottom, almost scientific, by the book, what is considered by the old guard to be true and proper cinema. Two different beasts. They're still cinema. They're both still under the film cinema umbrella. They're just tackling it in wildly different ways. And so I get where he's coming from.
Yep.
But I also think he's just being a jaded old dude that he's allowed to be. He's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time.
I agree.
But I think he needs to maybe pull back the reins a bit. He's being like the Siskel and Ebert thing where it was like,
It's coming off a bit elitist and a bit snobby.
It is. Because it is elitist and snobby.
It is elitist and snobby. Samuel L. Jackson comes out.
Yes.
And says,
fuck it.
Martin Scorsese, films are films. Everybody doesn't like his stuff either.
Exactly,
But James Gunn came out and said, Martin Scorsese is one of my 5 favorite living filmmakers. I was outraged when people picketed The Last Temptation of Christ without having seen the film. I'm saddened that he is now judging my films in the same way, because he said that he wasn't gonna, he doesn't watch them. I'm trying to find his actual comments here. Here it is. I don't see them. Okay, so it's asked, is he a fan of Marvel movies, superhero movies, and Marvel movies? He says, I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema, he said. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, physiological experiences to another human being. So that was his full take on it. I know it's a little bit more, so it gives you a little bit more of a scope on what he's saying. But essentially, I think he just thinks they're just dumbed down popcorn fun to stimulate.
He's just he's just gating it. He's just gating. He's putting a gate where he considers cinema to be. And I bet you if you ask him, the list of people that make that gate, fucking short list.
It's a small list.
And he's 4 of the 5 people on that list.
It'd be like him and fucking, Quentin Tarantino and, a few elite,
super elite
filmmakers.
And not the super elite. Like, I don't even know if Nolan makes that list.
Yeah. And the thing is you know what? I agree with what he says, but it's for one, it's kind of a dick coming from him of all people. And then at the same time, you can agree with it, but then at the same time, it's all what you said, bro. It's all what you said. It's like, bro, it's still cinema. People are still, you can't, we get what you're saying,
cinema
but you're being a douche.
Cinema isn't just this
you're
one thing where you're being super highbrow artsy about it. It isn't just that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask,
but what is funny about it is the fact he does come out with the Joker.
Yeah, he comes out with the Joker, and it's technically still a comic book movie,
and it really does feel like. And the thing that I said is like it's a great piece of filmmaking. You know, you don't really say that about many comic book movies, and then you can't, because he kind of backs it. This guy makes fucking incredible pieces of art.
He does,
and it's like fuck, but then he says this, and at the same time, then he goes, "Here's my dick." Tell me this isn't fucking great cinema. And you're like, fuck, this is great cinema, you asshole. And this is something that we haven't seen before, and fuck you for it. But at the same time,
you know what though? Do that, but now do it where it's the Joker, but with the action of a comic book movie.
We'll see. We'll see if he does another one.
Right? Because there are movies that are action that still fall. That I would wonder. Does Dunkirk, is Dunkirk good enough for him?
I'd probably say yeah, probably.
So it isn't the action portion of it that he has an issue with. So then I guess the thing to do would be, okay, Martin, you can make a really good movie, and you can make, this movie's probably going to make $700 million or some shit like that. I don't think it's going to crack a bill because
my guess is
6 to 7.
My guess is 5. My guess is half a bill.
So
if it goes 7, bro,
that's big.
We're getting another one.
So the fall, which is weird because it's like a $40 or $60 million movie that made all that money. But so my follow up to that is, okay, well then go ahead, show us then. It's kind of one of those things where you shit on something really, really hard that you're involved in the same industry, and then somebody says, okay, well, go and do it. And then you go, no, I don't feel like it because I don't think it's worth my time. You're like, all right, well, then stop fucking talking.
I'm with you.
Show us the way. Give us the blueprint, Martin Scorsese. Give us the blueprint to Endgame, the Martin Scorsese experience. Right?
Let's see it, bro.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Make $1 billion or $2 billion movie.
Yeah.
If you think it's so easy and it's a phone in for a filmmaker,
I agree.
Then do it.
I agree.
But the response is probably just going to be, "It ain't me, bro.
Yeah.
It's not my wheelhouse. I make real film. Sweaty fucking neckbeard shit."
Hell yeah, and I'm going to watch the fuck out of the
Yes,
Irishman.
because I like it. I think it's great, but I think you're being an asshole.
Me too. I think everybody agrees too. I haven't seen one person who didn't think
Nobody's really on board with him on that one.
No.
That shit's not been going well. But yeah, definitely go see the Joker if you have any interest in it because the shit's fire. And I have to say, what was your favorite thing about him as Joker? Because you could say that without spoiling it. I guess is probably pretty easy to do. I have 2 favorite scenes that's not really spoiler because one of them is in the trailer.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that until next week. But
Okay.
I'll say my favorite thing about him. I mean, his laugh was really. I really liked
like that part in the trailer where he's walking out of the room when he does the laugh.
I really
before I even saw the movie, I watched that and went, "Fuck!"
I really like the laugh and how it affects him, and we can talk about that next week.
No, you can't go further than that.
That's probably my favorite part of his character. But there's so many great things about him. But I'd say that's a big standout.
For me, it was the progression of his body language across the movie that showed the transformation of Joker.
Even his walk.
The walk. And it's also in the trailer. At the end, he's walking, and then to get the getting to that point, and then his dance thing next week.
It's a lot.
Next week.
Yep.
But he fucking, all you need to know, guys, is he fucking crushed the shit out of this shit. Nobody's going to be the Joker for a hot minute after this one. Nobody's going to want to be.
support.
No, you got to sell out for us. I'll get this up. You got to sell out, bro.
Hey,
we got sponsors.
We got sponsors. NordVPN, holding it down. Might actually have another sponsor here pretty soon.
Oh,
I'm working on it.
Buckle up.
NordVPN.
Is it
if you guys don't know what it is, no, it's not.
Oh, fuck.
If you guys are interested in a virtual private network, say, for example, you're from Canada and you want to watch U.S. Netflix or other regions, maybe there's different websites that block you out, whatever the case may be. If you want to stay protected so that you can't get DDoSed and all those other things, or maybe you're in a public area. Maybe you're at a Starbucks.
That's right.
And you don't want to be on a public Wi-Fi and you want to mask your IP and things like that. NordVPN is the show. 5,100 plus servers in 60 countries. Zero data logging. It has an extension for your Chrome browser. It's very lightweight, user-friendly, and it's just one click. It's super easy. Fast servers, all recommended by Speed Test. 24/7 customer support, live chat, emails. Up to 6 simultaneous connections, so you can have 6 different devices. There's an automatic kill switch. It even works in China, bypasses the Great China Firewall. Compatible with basically all operating systems. It's including Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. Peer-to-peer sharing, unlimited data bandwidth, a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it out, you don't like the speeds, you're not getting what you thought you were going to get your money back. It's no big deal. It is 70% off now. It's actually gone down a little bit. It was 75% off. Now it's 70%.
I mean, that's still a pretty crazy deal, though.
It's great.
70%.
It's a great deal. What I'm trying to say is get on it, boys. We don't know what it's going to be like 3 months from now.
Could be 69.
Could be 70% off by using the promo code OTT. That's right. Promo code OTT.
That's right.
If you're listening to this on any of the RSS feeds, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere, come to the YouTube channel, click on our recent podcast, and the link will be in the description of the YouTube video. Or you can go to the website. When you go there, make sure you use the promo code OTT to get 70% off.
Do it!
NordVPN, that is less than a cup of coffee.
That's right.
A month. It's a 3-year term. So for 3 years, you are golden.
You could probably use one less coffee a month, let's be honest.
Let's be real.
That ulcer's not getting smaller.
I use my VPN all the time. I'm not going to lie. I use it for watching various different
4K foreign porn.
There you go. Where maybe that 4K foreign porn is only available in North America, in different parts of North America, like maybe the United States. And I go, you know what? I want access to that 4K porn because
I hear Best Korea puts out some great stuff.
I want to have a 4K FAP session.
That's right.
And so here in Canada, it just does not let me go to that site. So you know what I use? I use my NordVPN. I click one button.
Now you are officially...
Now I'm a Bostonian.
Yep.
And now I'm watching 4K porn.
Like all Bostonians do.
Absolutely. So there it is. Promo code OTT. NordVPN. Go pick it up. That's our sponsor. They support us. Go support them.
Now it's time for...
tech support.
He almost went back to movies and TV.
Let's not do that.
Will Hawkins asks, what's the oldest kinds of physical media that you own, and when's the last time you used physical media? I mean, we're looking at some behind you right now.
Yeah. Physical media is probably...
That would be physical media.
This is it. Here we go.
You're seeing it.
Last time I used it, it's probably been about 4 months, 3 months since I've actually popped in one of these. I mean, I use Blu-rays. That counts, right?
Yeah, that's still, I
used that last week.
I buy Blu-ray when it's a movie that I want to specifically look real good. Like Netflix looks pretty good, but you're not going to be using a Blu-ray.
No.
So yeah, I still use it for that purpose. Just really specific movies. I just bought Alita: Battle Angel the other week to watch that with them. She hadn't seen it yet. And we also watched Interstellar. She hadn't seen Interstellar. Fuck me, that movie's good. But also, fuck Anne Hathaway in that movie, man.
I know.
For me, I mean, I have some VHSs laying around, but I haven't used them in a hot minute. I've got like I have the original Star Wars VHSs before George Lucas took out his micro.
See, I got the Blu-ray. I got the Blu-ray box set where they have like all the different versions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm looking for? Like we have a bunch of Disney movies.
You know what I wish I had?
What?
Terminator 2 on VHS because in the Blu-ray release, they changed the music.
Yeah. You could probably still find that, probably no problem. You could eBay it or fucking go to a yard sale.
Yeah,
They
you
probably
find
have
it
it.
somewhere. I suspect they're going to release it probably after this Terminator when they have like the whole box set.
Oh yeah, they just do box sets on
Collect
boxes.
the whole set.
Yeah, and then like 3 years later, they have another movie. Recollect the whole set again.
Yeah, it's like the Harry Potter.
We'll give you
movies,
15 minutes of unseen behind the scenes shit.
Horcon asks, "Do you think the next recession will impact streamers, and if so, how?" No.
It's probably going to make
in
him.
fact, it would make him
probably
more
make
money.
him more rich.
The thing about recessions and stuff like that is people tend to look more for entertainment to keep their minds off the fact that the world sucks dick. So there are a couple of markets that never get affected by the economy. The entertainment industry rarely sees any major hits. Movie theaters might see a little bit
And food.
there. However, we had the restaurant businesses and stuff. But luxury items never goes away because rich people always have money. So luxury cars, jewelry,
and then
the
the
diamond
broke,
market.
and then the broke will buy those luxury items to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the
What
vast
little they
majority of
have.
that shit is just if people have money, they're spending it. Doesn't matter what the market is like. And then for entertainment purposes, people are always looking for entertainment.
Streaming is whatever.
So it won't affect it at all. Vlad asks if and when the new Nintendo console comes out. Excuse me, it's a new version of the Switch. What do you want to see changed and improved?
On the Switch?
Yeah, if there was like a new version of the Switch that came out.
I mean, just battery life and the frames per second, right? Like, when you have it, is it the console mode where it's fucking slow as shit? Where the frames are just terrible?
Yeah. One sec. I wasn't expecting you to be done your sentence that fast. I was responding to somebody. So, yeah, and that would be mine.
That's
Battery
it.
life, which continues to improve as they don't say anything, but the SKUs that have been coming out have been getting progressed. We talked about them on the podcast, progressively better, and not a small amount. I mean, like hours of difference between them. To the point now, if you bought a new one now versus like my launch version, you're getting like 3 or 4 hours more on the new one. So, yeah, battery life. And
And
then
the frames.
I want docked mode to be 1080p 60.
Yeah.
Because the next round of consoles are doing 4K. Yeah. So I want Nintendo. I don't 4K is whatever to me, but 1080p 60 locked is a bit that you are scraping bottom. You do not go below 1080p 60. Nintendo Switch is laughable. You plug that shit in, they're like, here, how's like 792p at 34 frames a second? No. I don't want that. I want my games to at least run smooth. I don't need them to look like a Naughty Dog game, but I do want them to run smooth. That's all I'm asking. So you get those two. Oh, and fix the fucking drift that the motion controls have. Like the left one, I think specifically, just tons of drift, doesn't work all that well. If you're gonna charge $9 million for those controllers, fucking make sure they work, please. Be good. What would PL ask, what would an argument between two Donald Trumps sound like? An awful lot like a really long, wet fart.
It's a great description.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Where you know that at the end of it, you've got to wipe that. You got to wipe it.
Gotta fucking wipe it.
You know it ain't just a fart anymore. Black Jimmy asks, I just watched the Lag TV Technogoose cast, and I have to say that's one of my favorite moments. Technogoose is a great fucking moment. What are some of your favorite, most memorable moments for Lag TV?
The Probe War one.
That one was some fucking crazy
That
shit.
just
The Probe War is
that
just
every time. The Niskel, obviously, that's what started everything.
episode 8.
And those are yeah, those are probably my main ones.
Jizzer Wizard is one of my favorite because the Farouche came out of that.
That was a good one too.
That made me cry laughing.
That was a good one. Fuck the other one too. The one that's so immature, and I go back and I watch it like once a year.
And
it's the one where
Mike
just
Hunt.
Mike Hunt.
And it's like all the puns that we can come up with for the entire cast of Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt, dude, that shit. I think I probably watched that cast more than any cast that we've ever done because it's so juvenile and dumb.
It is incredibly juvenile. Most of our shit was incredibly juvenile,
but I mean,
but
this
that was a special
like,
kind of juvenile.
This was like a really...
we went into doing that cast knowing that we were going to be the most juvenile imaginable.
And then I just started laughing, bro, and it was like being high. It was like so dumb. It was just dumb. But yeah, that was
Fire to Blaze is another good one.
Fire to Blaze is a good one. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Yeah, that's another good one.
My favorites.
Brain Doc asks, did either of you watch Amazon series The Boys? I have not. I spend very little time on Amazon Video.
Oh, The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys.
Yeah, that's the superhero one, right?
Yes.
I did see that.
Thoughts?
It's good. Great. It's different. It's like it's
But is it cinema, Jeff?
Yes. It is like it's superheroes if they were actual human like and they did things for their own benefit, you know? Like they're not by the book.
Selfish.
They're selfish. They do things that
boys being boys.
It's the boys being boys, and you know, they do bad things. They do bad things, bro, and it's very political. It's a cool ride. I actually think you'd enjoy it. It's very grimy.
Okay.
The sound, the special effects at times are pretty bad.
You kind of have to expect that with these series and stuff.
Yeah, the acting is fine. The action is pretty poorly done. I've found that whoever directed these episodes doesn't have a really good grasp on action. But they, I do believe, just finished filming season 2, or they're finishing it up. And since the show was such a big hit, and it really is a fun show to watch. I think that the budgets will get bigger. I think the action will get better, and I think the special effects are going to get better. So I recommend it. I really do. I think you'd enjoy it.
Well, then I'll have to give it a look-see because I really never, I rarely go on Prime. I went on Prime. I go on Prime if there's something that is not on Netflix, and I'm like, I bet you this is probably on Prime, and that's it.
Check it out. I think you and your lady would like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will. I'll give it a look-see. Neil Pring asks, Jeff, you are China. Adam, you are Blizzard. Please reenact how you think the conversation and decision went with Blizchung. All right, go. You're China.
I was going to be really racist for a second, decided not to be.
It's a good choice. It's 2019.
It's 2019. I was going to,
You're black, but you're not that black.
I'm not that black.
You can't get away with that.
I can't do. I'm half white.
Yeah.
That'll get you in trouble.
It's at least 50% in trouble.
I'm going to go with... I'm just going to say it sounds like a big, long fart.
No. We're reenacting this. You're calling me up. I'm Blizzard. You're China.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm Blizzard?
Yeah. No. You're China.
Oh, I'm China.
Blizzard. Yeah.
Hey, Blizzard, what the fuck?
What do you mean, what the fuck?
End it.
Okay. There you go. And scene.
That's it.
The cinema. Right there.
If this was like Grand Theft Auto RP, I would have really...
do this again, but this time, I mean, Blizzard as the Joker. All right.
Okay.
You ready? Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Blizzard. End it.
Send in the clown.
Oh my fuck!
All right, that played to nobody on the RSS.
You really got 10 hours of sleep
whatsoever. Bro. I did.
You got 10 hours.
I don't have the energy, but like I'm the loopy kind of stupid right now.
Motherfucker.
Let's see. People in the RSS feed, you're gonna want to see the YouTube video for that. There's more cinema. Shady asks, as it is Mr. Morehouse's birthday soon, best birthday party you ever had attended. Had or attended. Jeff's 30th was pretty banging because I sang "It's Not Unusual" and
that was a good time.
And Jordan danced with the actual dance to go along with it.
That was actually a really good party.
That was good.
That was a fun time. It was a
solid
good 30th. What are your plans anyway? Are we going out and doing something or what?
I'm away.
Oh yeah, fuck. That's
it's
right.
this Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm missing Thanksgiving and my birthday to go away, and it's probably gonna rain.
All right. Well, when you come back, I owe you sushi down at fucking Minato.
That's right.
And we'll do that.
100%. Mr. Miyagi asks, well, I'll get this from Scotty because he's never asked a question before. What's the most embarrassing experience you had while in elementary school?
Most embarrassing elementary school experience.
Yes.
Had a few. I am gonna go with. Man, no, that one was junior high. I'm trying to think. Jeez, elementary wise, embarrassing. I mean, I've gotten in some pretty ridiculous fights. One of them was very embarrassing. I think I've said this story before. I won't go into the full thing, but basically, I had gotten into an argument with a guy. His name was Colin, and we were gonna fight after school.
As you do.
And then I started getting cold feet to an extent. Like I didn't want to fight him. But so we were walking. It was after school, and we were walking up through the basketball court and shit. And there's a baseball diamond over there, and I'm walking away, and he's fucking kind of pushing my buttons. Right? He's talking shit. I'm trying to ignore him and get away from this situation, and he ends up saying something about my sister. Right? And at the time, you know, I think at the time I was in elementary school, so I was maybe grade 5. My sister might have been like maybe 1. I'm like almost 10 years older than my sister, right? So I don't know exactly how that works out, but she was a baby.
She was a baby, yeah.
So as soon as he said that, right, I got all worked up. I got all teary-eyed and shit. I'm like, don't talk about my sister. And I said, fuck it. Come on, let's fight then. So we go over to the baseball diamond, which is right next. And Colin was actually in karate. And I think he had a lot of, I think he wanted to just kind of show off because he's been in karate and he knows how to fight now and whatever. So
he knows how to fight other people that also know karate.
Pretty much, right? And I didn't know shit, right? So he gets into his karate stance, right? And now there's a circle of people. And I, for whatever reason, I go into the Jamaican style shit from Tekken.
So capoeira, bro.
So you know the dude that
it's capoeira.
Yeah. So I'd never gotten in like a fight like that before.
But
like
you played some Tekken.
But I played some Tekken. Like I had gotten into like scuffles before, but never like a point
like
where
you
get set up.
And
you're in a circle and you got to fucking throw down.
Somebody has to beat first.
So he's sitting there literally like in a karate stance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking Jamaican style. I literally said, I'm gonna fuck you up Jamaican style, whatever that means, right? And so I'm doing this shit, and I remember Scott and all those guys are all there. And we still talk about this story from time to time. And I'm hopping around and doing some shit, and people are looking at me like they're like, man, does this kid actually know what he's doing? Like, is he actually gonna fuck this guy up? Because this is like impressive, but at the same time,
it's confusing.
This is confusing. And so Colin is literally just standing there, right?
Waiting.
Just waiting, and I'm literally dancing, but at the same time, I'm trying to buy time because I'm trying to find a way out of this because I don't want to fight.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So I'm sitting there, and then I go in, and then he ends up striking me. I end up kicking him. Like it's like a couple of kicks.
Yeah.
And then of course people come, the teachers. There's a big circle.
Broke it up,
and then it was it. Right? Really, nothing happens. But it was pretty embarrassing because people from that day basically talk about this whole Jamaican style shit. And even last time I saw Colin, which was like years ago, we always have a chuckle about our little fight back in like grade 4 or grade 5. Yeah, 5. Literally, all right, okay, I'll get you Jamaican style, right?
Got being Eddie from Tekken.
That was it. At the time, I must have been playing some Tekken, so that was embarrassing.
It's amazing.
That was embarrassing.
Mine's far less elaborate than that, but it's one of those things where, you know how when you're younger, something that if you did when you were older, it wouldn't really be embarrassing. It'd be something you just laugh off. But when you're younger, for whatever reason, even though you're older looking back, you like you feel the weight, embarrassment of it again. Okay, so I was like grade 3 or some shit, and it was French class, and the teacher, I don't even remember the context of why this was going on, but there was like some sign language stuff that we were doing. And we were doing like the she made the thing where like everyone knows at least one thing, like the rock symbol, right? And like the whole rock symbol hand, whatever thing, right? And then we're all doing it, and I accidentally throw up this which is love in sign language to her, and I fucking died inside because it was like grade 3, and I was like, I just told my teacher that I love her or some shit, and she was like, her reaction to that was like, you could tell it's like, how do I react to this shit? And it was it was something that like if you're older I'd laugh off, but since I was like
when you're
so
older,
young,
it's kind of cute.
And
It's
now
like,
I look back at it, I'm like, it's like I lived that moment.
Like, can
again.
you imagine if there was a picture of your class and everybody was doing this? And you're doing that. That'd be cute, right? It'd be like,
adorable.
it'd be like, oh my god.
But when you go back and you relive that moment,
it's
like existential dread when you're like fucking 9 years old or some
cute.
shit.
Yeah, it's funny.
So that was probably it. Otherwise, elementary school was pretty fucking uneventful for me.
Dude,
in all honesty.
Okay, so in high school, I had to go after I think it was grade 11. I had to retake grade 11 math. I had to go to summer school to like get my credit. So I go to summer school. It's the first day of summer school. And summer school wasn't that long. It was only like a few weeks. Like I think it was maybe a month. And so I go to summer school, and I'm in there with a bunch of like, people that don't give a fuck about school, right? Because we're all...
Of course, because you're in summer school.
We're in summer school, right? So you could kind of grasp the type of demographic in there, right? Yeah. So I'm acting all cool, and I go into summer school like it's the first day of school, right? Like dressed up like...
You're always dressed to impress on the first
new
day.
clothes. And at the time, I had my 91 Civic hatchback, driving up with the
probably
pipe.
had your baby blue jumpsuit that you fucking
No,
wore
I didn't
everywhere.
I wasn't wearing that, but anyway, it was the first day of school. This was grade 11. This was embarrassing. It's first day of school. I'm sitting there. There's probably maybe 10, 15 of us in this class. Not much. And I start falling asleep, right? So I put my head down, and I'm sitting there. They're doing the lecture, and I'm sitting there
nodding off.
And I'm nodding off, and I'm catching myself. I'm nodding off, catching myself. And then eventually I just subdued to it. I'm like, okay, I'm going. So I go to sleep. I wake up to me letting the massive fart go. And I mean, bro.
No.
Bro, I woke up to mid fart, bro. I woke up mid fart.
You woke yourself up with that shit.
and I woke myself up, bro. And I look around, and
everyone's dead silent.
Everybody, including the teacher,
laughing,
is looking at me, bro.
Oh my god!
And I'm half out of it, bro. I'm half out of it, and I go, oh man, what the fuck, right? And I literally get up and go, oh man, what the fuck? And I'm like looking at other people like they did it.
You're still
and
like,
I'm like half asleep.
You're still half asleep.
And in my mind, I know I did it. But I'm still like confused about the situation, bro. That was and it was the first fucking day.
Now you're game over,
and there
bro.
was chicks in there, and it was just like
you have no rapport with anyone anymore at that point,
bro. It was so embarrassing. That was probably my most embarrassing moment in school ever. Like it's one thing to like fart in school and you're around your boys and shit and you like fucking laugh, but to be around all new people. And you're trying to be cool, and you're dozing off.
Your first impression is you shit yourself in your sleep. That's a little rough. that was hard to come back from that one.
There it is, boys.
It's hard to come back from that one.
There it is.
Last one. Mr. Miyagi says, what are your top 3 films of this year? Mine is
Joker, number 1.
Okay. Yep.
Number 2, Endgame.
Okay.
Number 3, I didn't see that many movies this year. This summer it's been dry. I'll go. Alita Battle Angel.
Okay.
Bang Bang Boom.
My top 3: Joker, Interstellar, Last Samurai.
I thought he said. Oh, I suppose. I guess he didn't say released this year.
No, I mean, I'm also making the joke that I didn't see that many movies this year, and the ones I did see, it didn't impress me all that much. Joker though.
Great.
Fuck.
Great.
That's some cinema.
So there it is. Joker, Endgame, Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, Alita's pretty good.
Yeah. This is a fun time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Endgame is, fun time. Joker's really, really fucking good.
There it is.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's another Tech Alpha podcast. We're done. If everything goes smoothly next week, we should be in the other room. But at this point, I'm just waiting for some other catastrophic event to stop us from getting in there. Either way, we'll be back next week for more Tech Alpha podcast. Head on over to patreon.com/lagtv if you want to support us, or a YouTube channel and etc. And as always, until we see you next time, have a good one. Peace.